Hey, welcome to Métropole Grid. My name is Andre and I'm your host. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now, I'll be honest with you, I've never been the biggest fan of Shaper gameplay, but I have to say, Rizeki has really caught my attention. With his powerful ability and versatile playstyle, Rizeki is quickly becoming a fan favorite among players, and I can definitely see why. Even though I may not be the biggest fan of Shaper, I can't deny that Rizeki is making me excited to give it a try. Get ready to learn all about the benefits of Rizeki and how it can take your Shaper game to the next level. So sit back, relax, and get ready to discover why Rizeki is a must-have for any serious Netrunner player. Let's get started. How's everyone doing? Welcome back to Métropole Grid. My name's Andre. That is an intro for the Métropole Grid, written by ChatGPT. I don't actually know how this came about. This was shared with me. Someone named Yads, I believe, shout out Yads, was asking the ChatGPT robot to write intros for the Métropole Grid about Rizeki and Shaper. And it comes up with something that honestly, obviously sounds like words. Where are them orb remotes when I need them? A421, how's it going? Ixaran, how you doing? Let me catch up on chat. Hopefully you're doing well. It's a Thursday. It's been a big week of Netrunner. It feels like such a long week. I can't believe the weekend was just like 5 days ago. Brennan. Yeah. Hey, John, I had the most important question Andre could ever answer for the Netrunner community. Considering how many playmats people own, is it worth to buy another one if you own none with stitched edges? Stitched edges are pretty sick. They're pretty cool. Stitch edges are nice. It's more not like the feel of it, it's the longevity of the playmat. That being said, I have playmats from like FFG era and they're fine. They're fine. But that being said, the ones that I have with stitch playmats, with stitch edges are quite good. It's let's be honest, it's about the art. It's about the art. You can stitch your own edges, I reckon. If you want to see what one with stitch edges looks like, I'll bring one too the next time. Hopefully I see you at an event. I hope everyone's week was better than mine. Spent the 5 of the last 6 days very feverish and sick. Ixaran, I hope you're feeling better. That sounds awful. I hope you're feeling better, man. It's that season where people get sick. Look like you were reading a ransom note. It kind of writes like a ransom note. It was all in like magazine letters cut out, but from different magazines. I prefer a nice flat surface personally, although the stitches do help them stay together longer. Yeah, like I don't try and play around the edge of the playmat, and in theory, there's a bit of an, It's a bit of a bevel. I think you'll be fine though. Hey Seabass, how's it going? There's the orb remote. That was a demo. Hey, I just went over to Null Signal Netrunner and spent channel points on that. Subscribe with Prime, you get the orb remote. You bring it here. Oh, I appreciate that. I'm only doing well by comparison, sadly, but I think I'll be lively enough to host my draft on Sunday. So that's more than I was hoping at the start of the week. Hey, Xrun. Yeah, and good luck with the draft on Sunday. Hopefully you're doing good. $2 USD. James, thank you for the. I don't actually know what they call it on on YouTube, but I appreciate the support for the intro. I didn't write that. That was the internet. Follow-up question: is flexing with a playmat with your face on it the best move in Netrunner, or is it playing unsleeved? You're legally not allowed to play unsleeved anymore, so it's a bit of a flex. I think the playmat part is pretty cool. It's kind of a cool thing. Not that you don't have a cool flex playmat. All right. This week in Netrunner, we have some really exciting news. There was a big event last weekend. We can talk about that a bit. We're going to play the deck list of the week, which is Sokka's. And Sokka's deck lists are pretty elegant and pretty aggressive, and I've been a really big fan of them lately. Again, Sokka234 on YouTube. He does some streaming. He does some content stuff. In fact, if you want to watch all of his play at the Circuit Breaker Invitational, it should be up on his channel. He was like live streaming at the same time, which I'm surprised you're allowed to do that. How are you allowed to live stream an event at the same time, right? Like, man, if I go into an event and I can have chat have my back, and I don't think they do, I'm surprised. I thought you'd have to be on a delay or something, but I peeked in. I'm like, yo, Sokka, good luck out there, man. We're gonna do that, and then we're gonna try some startup, because I made a promise that this week we try startup for the first time in a long time. I'm actually pretty excited for it. I have some ideas of what we can do for startup, but startup's a different thing for sure. Play with opaque sleeves that have the card back printed on them. I have a bunch of the old, man, I brought them to Worlds and I didn't give them out. I bought a bunch, like they're on clearance at in Toronto. I found a bunch of the old like FFG art sleeves with like Snare and Info Bounty and Jotun? No, what's his name? The big one. What's the big Byroid? Not the biggest one, but like the other biggest one. And I didn't give them out. So next time I have all of them. Please, I have too many sleeves. Playing unsleeved is definitely the flexiest, especially if you got draft cards. You're like not allowed to. You can't. You need sleeves. Let's play this deck. Have a good stream. I gotta go serve dinner. Brennan, enjoy dinner or enjoy the service of dinner. Hopefully both parts are satisfying. If somebody was intentionally cheating a live stream with chat, it'd be pretty easy to catch them. Oh, I don't mean intentionally cheating at all. I'm just like surprised that it's a possibility that you can have live interaction. He should have been on slight delay, but we didn't think about it. Yeah, because you said too, Orb. Hey, how's it going, by the way? You said I could stream the event too if I was playing. And I didn't think about that. I don't know. I feel really weird if someone told me like, oh, that's the line. And like, again, I'm not saying this because I think Sokka needs help. Sokka's doing good out there. I'm just, I was a bit caught off guard. That's what makes it the flexiest. You're going to get flexed all the way into null signal jail. You're going to flex so hard out of there. No care, just care. This is a cool deck. This sort of like very event heavy package Ghost Tongue Essa. There's a couple decks we have in our deck list that we haven't played on stream yet. I think one of them was cribbed directly from Shoeflower. And they seem really, really fun. This one's a bit more spicy. We're now seeing more and more players lean a bit into Banhar just because it's incredibly aggressive and really quite fun. But this also has a Poison Vial, which is kind of nice. This means this gives you like extra legs with obviously endurance, but also with Botulus. It's really quite good. One Botulus counter with your Poison Vial, you're kind of good to go. And on top of that, we have that Raindrops Cut Stone Banhar engine, which I'm just so excited to play. We have Chastushka, which is just good, just really good. And we have 3 of them, and we're going to try and hit them pretty consistently. The idea here is wait till your time bomb goes off and then Chastushka HQ, and you're pretty good. Flexi, we know it. Hey, Tanuki, how's it going? Got late, fast, evening all. Yo, it gets still dark real early, and it gets really gray all the day, and it's time is weird. They'd be in here with me. Let's give this a shot. This seems quite reasonable. I like it. Also, Essa's been fun. I do find myself getting frustrated sometimes queuing up into Essa games that just the Essa's core damage ability is just kind of bad. In certain matchups, it's just kind of bad. I don't think I'd respect Thule, and I'll probably just take all the core damage we can, but I just really don't like playing core damage, or specifically not core damage, sabotage into Anarch. Like with Nanocivic Grid and then hybrid release and Regenesis, like, man, sometimes the worst thing you can do is let them put their cards into archives face down. So we'll see if that catches up with us sooner than later. On that note, I haven't put out content lately on the channel. I did some gameplay capture with this thing, and like, oh man, I feel so bad because I'm trying to put out a video that's kind of interesting, and like, this is a Spark of Inspiration 419 deck, and that's it. That's all it does. It is a spark deck, and then you can get an Amina, an Orca, and if you're unlucky, a Paperclip, and you get them down for free. And did we spend 11 influence on that play? Does it play different than any other criminal deck? Is it cool that sometimes you can Orca your Waken Plant? It's not bad. But like, oh, that is not a good use of that influence. Let me show you a worse criminal deck than what you could have. You could have just put Bagalter and saved 11 influence. Howdy from Australia, Dave. How's Friday going? How you doing? Thanks for dropping in. New runner deck. No care, just scare. Use of semicolon. That just means we are educated or something. There's some biting comment about the use of semicolons. Semicolons are fun. Essa. Essa versus Thule is maybe the most fun I've ever had playing Netrunner. Really? Why is that? Are you getting flatlined? Because I'm not worried about flatlined. I'm more worried about ontological, right? Like the ontological is the thing I fear. It's cool when their ability fires, your ability fires, right? But if you lose to ontologicals, I don't know how many sabotages are going to matter. Let's go. Hey, Capaduino. Capaduino plays a lot of Jinteki PE. At least I've seen lately, so I'm gonna be a bit uncomfortable. We'll see. Hey, it's Metropole Chime. Crower, how's it going? How's your Thursday night, maybe? Yeah, this is PE. And Capaduino specifically plays like, if I'm not mistaken, plays kind of like a grinder. Not exactly grinder, but just like traps on table. Which is sometimes a real frustrating Jinteki to play against, because it's just hoping that you run into the wrong stuff. So this is exactly the kind of matchup where like Marrow is really good, but just about everything else we do is going to be pretty destructive to ourselves, maybe more than them, barring Stargate. And that's rough. I don't think we're going to be making a lot of decisions. This is the Jinteki frustration where like the majority of your deck and your unique game plan kind of falls out the window. So buckle up. The good news is only 6 agenda points can be found that way. Yeah, that's true. Maybe they won't play Elevagao, but yeah, hey, the bright side. This hand's like not amazing. The Marrow is really good. Opening with a Ghost Tongue would be okay. We want to take the damage, but like this is going to be Mushin no Shin, so it's not going to be so much of our deck. It's going to be if we run the right stuff. Cole says I played 200 games since Parhelion dropped, and I'm just bad, man. Wait, how did you come to that conclusion? That's a lot of games. Big brain time. Hey Ninja, how's it going? I don't think so. I think we're just gonna play some of our cards and we're just gonna run stuff. Best of luck. Have fun. Yeah, one card in HQ. They did double from HQ. Like that sometimes lets them hold a snare in there, but like we just have to make sure they don't regenesis at any point. We want to make sure we get our Marrow down if we can. We're gonna see what this is. If it's a snare, it's a Rashida. We'll trash that. Otherwise, there's not a lot we want to do here. Like, we don't really want to bravado into HQ when they can afford an Anansi. Our hand size is 4. We just click to 2 credits. Next turn, we'll install the Marrow. Kind of like that. Hey, Zardos, how's it going? Hey, welcome to the stream. Sometimes the Corp just plays a 0-2 agenda. Oh, yeah, they can. I think people were a bit excited about that 0-2 agenda when it comes to Isawak. I don't think it's worth really doing. Here, we probably have to face check. I'm going to install the Marrow and then just hope it hits something good. That's at least nice. That's at least kind of cool, I guess. The problem too is like checking archives is difficult. Like once they sabotage a lot, running archives, we have a big chance of hitting a lot of agendas and getting really, really quite hurt. We have 6 hand size though. That's always kind of nice. Hey Frank, how's it going? Finally made it. Yo, Frank, I don't know if you knew this place, but let me tell you, today marks an end of an era, and it came as a huge surprise. And my emotions. I'm parsing my emotions about it. There was the best board game store, their friendly local game store in Montreal. It was called the Dice Owl. It was run by these 2 dudes, a couple. They came up from South America, I think from Colombia, along maybe 5-6 years ago. And they started this store in like 2016. And it used to be an online only store. And then they started up a real local, small, nice store. It's down in Pepino. And it was my local game store since, I don't know, I've been going there for 4 years. They were such nice people. Their selection was amazing. Yeah, I'm Pepino. Everything about it, can't say a bad thing. It was the store. Anytime there was something I would get, they would pre-order for me. Prices were fantastic. and they're leaving. Today was the last day. Luckily, someone else has bought the store, and the silver lining is like the person who bought the store is going to reopen it in a couple months, and they actually want to do. They have an event space upstairs, which unfortunately the pandemic made that not a good spot, but they're going to do more in-person play, which I think is really exciting. But like my friendly local game store doesn't exist anymore, and I feel lost. I don't know what to do. I wish them all the best of luck for the next endeavors. They're moving on somewhere else. The store was successful, but they're moving down to be with family. Chimera Games or Quantum? I don't know those ones, John. Hey Sophie, just played Padma versus Thule game yesterday where it took 7 or 8 core damage. It was just Hippocamp and Mechanicite keeping me afloat. Not a good deck, but fun match. Yo, I haven't played any Mechanicite. Some people are really hot on it. I'm wondering startup it's a bit different. I'm just gonna yellow this. I think there's some things we died to. I think we died to Saisentan. Just a Tithe. That's fine. They no longer exist for a while. Like, I don't know what to do. Montreal, there's definitely good stores. House of Knives, we'll take it. We drew a bunch. We have only 34 cards left. I don't know what server 3 is. Capaduino sometimes just puts snares out there. Raindrops was kind of sick. However, we have to steal an Obokata at some point. Our hand size is still 6. I don't know if we want to just running hot. Like, I feel like we want to pair this up with like something like out there, like a time bomb. But the problem is running archives is actually kind of tricky. I'll check what this is. If it's a snare, maybe we lose. Hopefully the next owners will set up and continue. I really think they will. Okay, so now checking archives is a bit safer. They said like all the client base and all that stuff and some of the inventory, like all that stuff will roll over. So I don't know. Yeah, weird feeling. They were just like, hey, today's our last day. I'm partial to Valet de Coeur. They got me at a young age. Valet is like a really nice space for people who I think are who are newer to board games. Like if I knew someone who wanted to pick up a board game and I couldn't go with them to help them, I would send them to Valet de Coeur because the people there are so nice and they're really friendly and they have a huge selection. Their prices though, not the best. They're actually quite expensive comparatively. The space is nice for games. They used to run like really good events back with FFG Netrunner, and they would actually run them for free, like at a loss, just to get people in. And I know they have a magic thing in the back. Like the people there are nice and all that, but it's yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of a mix. It was a startup match. Okay, cool. Sabo Essa versus P. This is fine. Yo, Jankos, how's it going? Congrats on your CBI stuff. How you doing? Yo, I started playing solo Arkham. I played some solo Arkham this week. It was all right. I still just want to spend 20 minutes and talk about Scarlet Keys on stream. Like maybe an hour, honestly. Maybe we just. This is not good. We're not good at dealing with ice, and they're icing up, which is the opposite of what we want. Is Randolph still a thing? Back in Quebec City, we'd go to l'Imaginaire and they were amazing. Imaginaire actually now exists more here, and Imaginaire is not bad. Imaginaire is actually pretty big. The prices are okay. They have huge stores. If you go to like St. Bruno, they have like massive stores, like a giant thing. Biggest board game store I've ever been to. And they also have like anime and like puzzles and like it's a huge production. Randolph is still a thing. I haven't been to a Randolph in a really long time. Randolph though is more like the pubs, like the pub ludiques. They do have some board game stores. But it's more like family board games more than it's hardcore board games. But I also haven't been in a while. We used to be really close to them because Benoit was one of the people who founded it, but he's since sold his part. Somebody, I don't know if he still has any ownership in it. But I haven't been to a Randolph in a really long time. I guess we'll take the money. We'll just run archives. Let's see what this is. We want to get card flips. Yeah, Randolph's definitely still a thing. I just don't go to it. Oh, there is a Kusanagi. Okay, cool. We have to take it. That was the one card we wanted to play. I hate to see it. They lost a Tithe. Like, this is just going to be a total grinder of a game. Like, man, do I dread playing this matchup. Like, it's so much of it is, do we find our MK Ultra before the bottom of our deck? And do we find the one of Stargate? Oh, dog, why does your stream for YouTube mobile always start at 144p? Wyatt, it is every video to some point will on mobile jump to 144p. Some people are not as discerning, but a lot of people appreciate that for mobile. They don't open a stream and it starts eating their data at like 1080. I constantly have to go in and then they hide it. You have to go to like advanced and then change it. Welcome to the stream though. sometimes fantasize about opening a game store. Seems like it'd be cool. It seems like it would be really cool. And obviously like it's probably a lot of work. Let's be honest, it's a lot of work. But the city that I grew up in doesn't really have one. I think the only game stores they have are like comic book stores, which are a different clientele. But like having a cafe or having like a spot that you couldn't play games, but also has like a clientele or expertise. I would kind of be interested to do that back where I grew up. All right, is this Hokusai into something? I don't know. I don't think we need to bravado it. I think we're just gonna run it. Could we take more core damage? I really don't know what sabotage is gonna do to us versus them. Like I feel like it's kind of a mixed bag. Like I just don't know what the game plan is here. It just kind of grinds you into a remote server. If this is an Obokata, this is the bad play. We should draw once because the net damage here and the Hokusai will put us below Obokata, which is 5 cards anyway. So this is pretty bad. I think PE maybe has run its course and should be kept on the next system update. I wouldn't be upset about it. Like PE's been around for a really long time and I love playing E at some point, but like to me, there's just, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot more net damage cards that it just feels like you just jam all of them and just push in a remote server. I always say if I win the startup lottery, I try and found a board game store. I thought you meant start up the format. Jeff, how's it going? It's just money. How you doing? Yo, Jeff, I watched your last video. Are you easing in your cards? Are you lerping in your card art? Looks good, man. Even though my best G&K performance was the PE deck, I have fond memories because PE used to be like what I played a lot of. It's a sting. Okay. Like this is just a grinder. Like this doesn't feel like a bespoke game plan. It's just like, oh, you are eventually gonna run out of hit points. And this is, I don't like this. Oh, now we draw that. That's fine. We could have clicked one to draw. But like this is them just trading hit points for what's gonna be 50 agenda steal. I don't know. Not my favorite. Slowly learning how to properly edit. Oh man. It's looking good. I'm just joking about the Yusengrin classic self-deprecation. It's fun. It came up in the video too. The purge here I don't think actually matters. Like we don't really need that much money. We're not doing anything. We keep the steel skin. We can run HQ at some point. Again, Obokata. We need to steal an Obokata or we got no shot. Because you need a lot of small agendas. Now the next sting that they score is pretty big, but like here we probably do nothing. Like we just draw up and click for credits. Like we don't want to spend cards. Oh, we DC'd for a second. I don't honestly know if we can afford running hot. If we lose a steel skin, it actually triggers off running hot. I forgot about that. That's different than I've had worse. The simul chip is like a nice card. It gives us some recursion, but there's no piece we're really trying to recur right now. I like click 3. Like this is just like drawing into your deck and then discarding your cards is the worst thing we can do. Like, do we just YOLO? I'm just gonna YOLO. Whatever. Oh, we hit our Stargate. Hey Pat, how you doing, man? Hopefully you're feeling better. I know you're all terribly disappointed to not see me today. Yo, man, soon is going to be February. I know we're just going to play it off. It did one from HQ, one from R&D. Okay, well, if we lose the Stargate, we lose. So I'm just going to install that, and then we'll check archives. Obviously, our money situation's a bit messed up. House of Knives, we'll take it. They lost a snare. That's sick. Hit a steel skin. Sick. And then hopefully this ice on R&D is not the worst thing. The worst thing here is that we showed that we have a Stargate. Before that we can capitalize on it. I'm just gonna click 3. We could actually consider stargating here. If we hit an Obokata, we have a chance. Like, yeah, before we have a steel skin, so we can face check some pretty bad stuff. If it's a Nancy, it's terrible. At least their economy will be pretty shattered. But if it's a Nancy, they can make sure that the Stargate doesn't hit. So like at this point, breaker, no breakers, 1 paperclip. I think we just draw and then click for 2. Oh, did we DC? Dog is doing fine, had a rough night, but on the mend. Yeah, hey, good to hear, man. That's always a real scary way to end a stream. We're like, oh, I hope everything's okay. I think we DC'd for a second. Don't take out your anger on Andre. It's great news, even better for you, I'm sure. Yeah. I think we DC'd for a second. We'll just hold on. Okay, we're gonna refresh. And then try and come back in. That usually works. Unless they also leave at the same time. Then the lobby disappears, which is the worst case. Hit test. All good. All right, we lost connection there. We have 3 clicks. We consider just hitting the Stargate button. I don't think we need to. We can just draw credit. Chastushka would be good, but we have to get through 2 ice. Here, having an Enga would be fine. I don't think the deck has any, but having a Time Bomb would just be good enough. It just does damage to them. It's pseudo multi-axis. With a steel skin and 5 cards in hand, we could consider just hitting the Stargate. Yeah. When Patrick comes in, there should be a canned applause from the studio audience. No. Yeah, there you go. Just double ice. But like, this is not a game plan, right? Like, this is just not lose. The proactive game plan is just jam stuff into this remote server until we run out of hit points, which like for me is always so frustrating because the best thing we should be doing is just clicking for 3 credits or 4 credits here. Like, that's all we should be doing, let alone drawing into our, I think it's a 1 of MK Ultra, right? Oh, do we have 2? Okay, that's better. Not that we want to, we'll pay 3 for this, so we need to. Clicking SG sets up the game faster either way. Use that insight as you want. Oh, guess his game faster. Yeah, exactly. It kind of does. But now, like, I don't know. Like, this is so rough. Man, PE matchup. Not my cup of tea. Here we're going to discard a card. I feel like that's not good. We might as well just, hey, we lost it anyways. That's sick. Might as well just take some damage. And obviously we should have done that sooner in the turn. Hey, Staniak, happy to see you live again here. 3 a.m. in Poland. I'll probably fall asleep to any moment and continue watching tomorrow. Hey, get some sleep if you can. 3 a.m.'s late. I appreciate the trying to watch live, but man, any night that I go to bed at 3 o'clock generally isn't a good night. Hopefully you're doing okay. All right, we're gonna get some clicks back here, a fair few, off the running hot. Again, our hand size is getting lower and lower. We don't want to really go underneath 4 hand size, unless we're going to try and really mill them out, because then it's really hard for us to interact with an Obokata protocol. In fact, this is probably too much. They did 2 cards from HQ. We'll check what they are. They might just like be holding fast events. Kusanagi, like now they're gonna do stock buyback for like 22. And like, this is again so frustrating. Like, there's no game plan here. It's just, oh, you stole the agendas. Oh, that's sick. They hit that actually. And then they'll have an infinite credits. They're also playing Wake Up Call. So we have to watch out that we're gonna lose our marrow. So we're gonna try and trash no cards because they have Wake Up Calls. And that's it. If they're on 90 grid, clicking for credits doesn't seem like the ideal line. I don't think they'd be on 90 grid. I'd be really surprised. Maybe as a 1 or 2 of, but like with archives being open, it's not particularly good. More likely a Hokusai's. We've seen the Hokusai's, right? And so much of this is, oh, eventually you'll run out of cards. So influence, right? We're assuming 3 spin doctors. These are pretty expensive. Maybe they're on 2 of them, 6, 7, 8, 9. So stock buybacks, I think, are 2 a pop. That takes you to 15 if you play all of them. Hey, Dowjin, Banhart works on the first ice, so double ice is a good strategy for the corp. Well, double ice is something they're going to do anyways. The thing is, they don't have a proactive game plan, so like, what else do you do with your ice? But yeah, it's okay against Banhart for sure. The thing is, like, Banhart a lot of times doesn't have a huge impact on the subroutines, right? Like, Anansi now becomes super lethal. It actually makes it worse for you. Typh is worse for you. It's not like end the runs. Like, in terms of the Jinteki ice, like, what do you want to really nani through? Pathonimus, in theory. A Sexanton is still a problem for you. Chiashi is like kind of cool, but actually some of it's worse than it is. Hey, Aaron, it's been a while. How you doing? Spin Doctor. Okay. Well, we got to check archives. Why is Andre still at 3 points? What am I missing? So many of these are 0-point agendas. So we don't want to sabotage with this. Like, we just run archives click. Like, we have to contest this soon enough because we can't Stargate. Not that we're going to Stargate. Well, they're using a Spin Doctor. They Spin Doctor for 1 card. Probably what's going to back? The Snare, you reckon, or the Wake Up Call? Hey, how's it going? I think the frustrating thing about playing against P is that, like, I built a deck because I want to play my cool cards, not just treat them as Peach. Yeah, no, that's definitely an issue with it. It's like, it totally makes you, like, it's cool that there's things that make you reevaluate your game plan, but when the value of your cards almost evaporates, that's a bit fun. The thing is, like, this feels good even without a proactive game plan, and that frustrates me. Like, is this the best play? Click 3. It's maybe we should draw 1, but then we're like bleeding our own hit points. We probably should draw and then just put the botch list on R&D. That's probably a bit better than what are we doing there. Now we have to steal 1 Obokata. We don't have a Mad Dash, but we steal 1 Obokata, will be on game point. They're just purging, and again, I don't think it matters. Like, it's not about the credits. But again, if they don't have a proactive game plan, I guess so. Let's draw once. All right, let's run archives. Hope we stake the time bomb. There's going to be snares in HQ. We've seen they shuffle the snare back too. Like, we don't want access central, Stargate or bust. So I think we're going to go ahead and Botulism and time bomb. So let's do that, and then just wait. It's a fair complaint, but the same could be said about a corp playing barriers and validating your decoder and killer. Well, no, not exactly, because like those are things that are there to break ice. If you don't have to use them, that's kind of what you planned. Right? Like that's fine. That actually benefits you. But when you can't play 80% of the cards in your deck, I think it's a different question. I maintain the problem is Oboe. Grinder feels a lot oppressive. They can't literally lock you out the game. Yeah, Oboe is actually a really big deal, right? Because it's so hard to steal. It's so many of their agenda points in one thing. And that really helps lower the agenda density of a deck that's running this many agendas. Yeah, no, Oboe is definitely absurdly powerful, especially in PE. And the thing too is like it's the one card, and I'm not saying that it shouldn't be this way, but like all the other net damage stuff really capitalizes on well. I think more jammy PEs are actually like very good. Like people cannot steal Oboe in front of what's it called, an anemone on just about any turn, right? Like if you're consistently jamming and putting stuff on the table, it's actually harder to keep up. Here we have the time to draw up, and they just kind of have the the sort of glacier stuff. This is kind of actually close to feels like what Bridgman was playing. Yeah, I think comparing Grinder PE to basically any other corp strategy requires generalizations that don't actually work. Yeah, so this actually is going to be either like, if it's the Sting, it's pretty bad. If it's a House of Knives, it's like 4 free damage. That's also really bad. Like we just lost a quarter of our hit points or a fifth of our hit points to a 3-1 agenda. Like that feels bad. Decks that can kill you 3 turns also invalidate 8% runner deck, re-education forever. Yeah, I do think re-education might be a mistake, but time will tell. Like, should we run this? Probably. They have 21 credits. Like, again, they didn't really have to. Might just be Bridgman's list, honestly. Like, what do we do here? We probably don't want to bravado this. If they're really concerned about fermented, like, do they have actual ice? Like, we need to get one more good access. If we're drawing one, we're really committing to running here. Banhar is like, okay. I think we'd put Banhar down. Banhar means we can Stargate next turn. So hopefully they don't absolutely destroy us here. Hey, Daniel. Hi, Andre. Live stream. Cool. How's it going, Daniel? Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're doing well. Yeah, that might just be Bridgman's list. It doesn't look very different, does it? I don't know, the one that he was playing at Worlds. That was a bit of a grind. And again, Anemone is now really hard to deal with. Like, that's just free damage. Like, so much of it's free damage. Hokusai, free damage. Okay, now they're pushing. That's fine. At least here we can Time Bomb, Botulus, Fermenter. Interestingly enough, we could just wait and then next turn go off when the Time Bomb ticks, and then we actually can see a lot of cards. Maybe that's actually really hard. Maybe we should just Stargate here, and then try and get the Time Bomb next turn. There could be a Spin Doctrine server too. Hey, Jairoscopa, how's it going? There's an Anemone. That does... Okay, so the Manhart doesn't matter. We hit our Steelskin Scarring, though. Have to let that fire. Okay, so we don't die to this if it's an Anemone. We can break it if it's any ice. I'm really worried that that's a Spin Doctor. Regenesis. Ugh. Anansi Hokusai. What about comparing PE to PU? Slash, I think that's the joke handle. Like, I don't know what to do here. It's not showing us the cards for some reason. Okay. I think it's a Sokka's list. I think mine is better. Yeah. Aaron, I had your list. Somebody sent it to me, and I liked it a fair bit, but this is Sokka's. At least I saw one of your very early lists that you played like an early GNK. Hit Anansi. Anansi we can't deal with. Regenesis, I don't think we care that much if they score out. Hokusai is just frustrating, especially with Stargate. But yeah, oh, click here. That makes sense. Okay. Well, we know we can run this next turn. It's just 1 damage. I guess we draw up. We should check archives again. How did that card get into your... Yeah, because I want to respect Regenesis into some nonsense. 3 AM in Germany a little early, but it's deck of the week time. Yeah, I'm really excited for this one. They threw out a snare again. We're not going to run HQ for a bit. Raindrops is cute. Again, we only have 18 hit points. So the players are bad at running a low table. Are there any corping at the upper table? Great video. Hope you can do an analysis. Yeah, Jeff ran through the stats of the CBI yesterday on a stream. He came with some interesting numbers about like win rates of corp versus runner versus a higher and lower tables. I think there's some very interesting stuff in that data. I don't know how to parse the data myself. Everything that comes up with IDs and 2-for-1s and the open deck lists, I think is also very, very interesting how it impacts that. And I think a lot of that was filtered around. I'd also like to be able to play Chastushka the turn Time Bomb goes off. Yeah, I definitely would, Aaron. I just don't think we're going to be able to. I also think server 2 might be a Spin Doctor because I don't know what else they're pushing out with. They drew a Hokusai, they drew a Regenesis, they drew an Unknown. So unfortunately here, I think we have to check archives before we Stargate, because if that's the third spin doctor, we're in a bad spot. Planning to pick the stream back up soon and actually make some visualizations. I think that information, if it's like I know a lot of the stream was you figuring it out, but like having a clear, like, hey, these are my results video would be absolutely incredibly invaluable. Also, obviously for the null signal folks, I reckon. I'm going to go put on HQ. Okay. If we, Chastushka HQ, that's a problem. I'm definitely going to check archives first. We probably should draw once so we can throw in Obokata. We have to make sure also we don't trash cards. Funny enough, actually, this should have been able to trigger too, because we trashed with Stargate. Nothing. Second Anansi, another bad back. The Hokusai seems to be the one they drew. They don't need more money. So I think we just Stargate here. We're going to lose a card anyways. Maybe there's still a Spin Doctor in server 2. I don't know. This doesn't matter. Oh, we lost our Chastushka. Is the VOD available on Usengrun's channel? It should be up on YouTube. Jeff has been putting his stuff up on YouTube basically the same day. That's an Obokata. If we steal the Obokata, we will probably die to Blood in the Water. So we have to steal that and hope that there's nothing else to bring it back. Like, we can't run now. So we're just going to click for credit here, I reckon. We could draw, but that moves a hit point. So maybe we win in a turn. I don't know. The cool thing is if we steal Obokata and it wins the game, we don't have to take the PE damage. But we're just hoping that they don't have another Spin Doctor. They also could have like genotyping. They could have the other Bird Barbecue card. There's so many things that like absolutely upset this plan. The data analysis stuff was really cool, Jeff. Glad to hear you be going back to it. Yeah, I was super stoked about it. I think it's really, really good stuff. I want to know more about, like, I don't know. I've done no big number crunching stuff. Is that data like publicly available, or is that just internally from Cobra? Like the data set. All right, so they drew into Anemone. That also does on archives make it harder for us to steal the Obokata. We also know that they have a snare in the top of the deck. They have another, what's it called in hand? Regenesis in hand. And a lot of people are curious about the results, but the process is pretty cool too. Hey, Kat, can't catch the stream tonight. Just popping in to say hi and good luck with the streaming games. Yo, thank you for sharing the, what's it called? The Chat GPT stuff. I read it off at the beginning. Hopefully you're doing well, huh? Thanks for saying hi. Hey, Mark and Jay, how's it going? Triple advance, just a sting. Just going to take cards out of her hand. Okay, so we know it's not a Spin Doctor. So again, if we want to steal the Obokata, oh, we get a Marrow trigger too, which is cute. We know if they go for R&D, they're going to hit a snare. But that means they might have the Spin Doctor in hand. They did one from HQ. Banhar will do HQ, I reckon. First encounter. Okay, so draw. And again, we have to watch out for what's it called, Blood in the Water. I don't know if they're on Blood in the Water, but we probably just want to wait next turn, and we'll do Stargate once and then run archives. Hey, Izzy, how's it going? How you doing? Hopefully you're doing well. How's your January been? All right, there are 14 credits. We've seen 2 of the bigger ice. If this is the Bridgman list, I don't think it was on Chiashi. Actually, it might be on Chiashi. Breakers, we have access to not a killer yet. We have 1 in hand and 1 in the bottom 10. Again, we're sitting on this for Mentor, and again, we're not going to need money. They purged twice, and I'm actually really thankful for that. But it's all about the last Stargate, let alone if they're running the other recursion card, which I think if this is Bridgman's list, that card wasn't out. So it's totally fine. World's Bridgman had 0 barriers. Oh, sick. That's good to know. So it was a lot of sentries. And then I think there were a couple code gates, right? There probably was like a diviner or something in there. Something like strange. I remember seeing the list and being a bit caught off guard. I changed Shahya into 2 Mad Dash in this deck. I think Shahya is really, really important, but Mad Dash is actually kind of sick, especially with Stargate, obviously, but in the modern meta as well. I think that's pretty reasonable. I don't know if I'd be first to do Shahya. I just think it opens up a lot because we don't have endurance, but maybe you can cut something like a raindrops. Maybe you can cut up one of your breaker if you're on Shahya. Yeah, I don't know. All right, they're drawn up. 2 diviners and a lot of sentries. Yeah, so Taith, Anemone, Anansi. I don't think there's Sice and Tons in there, but it's all the stuff that Shaper's really bad at dealing with. So draw, install. So that easily could be, what's it called? A Spin Doctor. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw once. We're going to run archives. We're going to see what is in there. If there is an agenda in there, we can choose not to steal the Obokata so we don't flatline. So we'll take the Obokata. We'll pay to steal. And then we'll just drop. Here, they could score out of, what's... Oh, wait, we actually could lose to a Sting or something, right? Ah, shit, we lost the Sting. Oh, it's just a Serum. Okay, we beat that by a turn. That was really good. If we didn't run there, they would have gotten it. So here, if this innermost is an Anemone, and we've seen, I think, 2 Anemone. It looks like they binned the 1 Anemone. Then we're okay. We can just draw once and Stargate, and we'll probably have it. Hey, Arizona, I tried this deck a bit. If you want more slots, cutting 1 Ghost Tongue is an option. I feel like Ghost Tongue is incredibly important. Admittedly, we're not playing our events in this matchup. But it's the sort of card that you do want in your opening hand. It's like very integral to this deck. But yeah, I could hear you. The sabotage after the longevity score, which is kind of sick. Tsiahia will go HQ. We'll draw. So I think we're just going to Stargate. Like, there's a real low chance we die to Anemone if this is an Anemone, but I think they would have rested by now. So we'll just drop once more and we'll Stargate. Do we break this? Yeah, okay. We don't have that many hit points. Insufficient MU? Oh, no then. Insufficient MU, really? 1, 2, 3? How? 2, 3, 4? How's that insufficient MU? Wait. Andre, you chump? Tell me about it. It was asking about the second one. Oh, I tried to install 2 MKs. Cute. Whatever. Probably won't matter. But yeah, that's good to know. It was asking me about the second MK Ultra because we had 2 in the bin. All right, that's it. We're free. Doesn't matter. We actually didn't even need 1 more hit point to access archives because we'll win before. Unless it's an on steal. Which Sting would have mattered. Thanks for the game. Yeah, we tried to install 2 MK Ultras. That's fine. That's good. I was confused. I was like, this gives you at least 1 MU, right? But yeah, no, it's, don't love playing against P, especially these Ps that are just like super, super defensive and then try and grind you out. Mill is hard. I don't know. I feel like if they ice up archives, they actually have a really good spot because we cannot afford to run archives every single turn. And then if they use sabotage to their advantage, they can get Regenesis and like hybrids, but they're not playing hybrids, I don't think. Yeah, we don't need an icebreaker. Again, that's kind of the power of Tsiahia, but like if all their stuff doesn't damage, and merely Botchels was probably really important. I don't know what ice this is that they didn't res. Maybe it's like a diviner or something else. Spin Doctor, yeah, that last one. But yeah, you don't always need icebreakers. Andre doesn't read JNet prompts fully. Why is JNet asking me if I want a second MK Ultra? JNet? You should be like, hey, by the way, I know you don't need this, but... And then if they open like that, I would read it. Thanks again. Get your end. Okay, I'm going to do 1 more with this, but we're going to try and play fast because there's a lot of stuff we wanted to do today. But I just want to see what this deck looks like when you like try and do its thing. Like more aggressively than that. I think the random net damage corp complaining about the random mill runner is a little ironic. Yeah, tell me about it. Ah, dang, mill. It's like, you're also a mill deck, aren't you? By definition, if you're playing Hokusai, you're a mill deck. Sometimes you want a second paperclip to overinstall turtle.jp text. Oh, there's totally reasons for it, but like, they should be like a just in case. Someone cue Thule. Hey, Jonky, how's it going? Oh, outfit, this is kind of rough. They could be trying to hurt us from many angles. Thanks, you too. So firstly, we have a kind of sort of disruption, but not really. But they could be trying to hit us with tags, and we have no free lunch. Like, we're very tag agnostic for the modern meta. So like just getting anything that gives us a tag, like even a public trail, I think is totally reasonable if you're playing against someone who's meta agnostic enough and not playing no free lunch. Otherwise, we have to deal with some really big ice. That's actually a really nice time for Tsiahia because we can deal with like Bulwark and Trebuchet and just take 2 net damage, which seems like a totally fair trade. Best card in our hand, Ghost Tongue. Worst card in our hand, everything else. Sick hand. We're just hoping we don't lose. I think we'll play the gamble first, just because we have to play around hard-hitting news. If we're going to run, we have to respect credit differential. This makes it look like they're a fast advance deck, or they use this because they're a combo deck. They have a lot of money. But a lot of other matchups winning on points after 7 core damage. Yeah, you can get there. You can get there. I wouldn't be excited to play against Thule. I'd rather play against something else. I'm going to do this first. Hopefully we hit a breaker. Sick. Decoder. Let's see what they do again. Sabotage. The first time we take core damage, sabotage 2. They 2 from the top of R&D. Love to see it. Now we have to respect punitive. Punitive is actually really, really strong against ESSA because you run archives and you steal 6 points. They don't have additional costs, and then, you know, what can you do about it? You're going to die. Last click. This into HQ is a bit rough sometimes. We don't want to do a last click because things like mouseless might give us a tag and then we would flatline potentially. Let's just drop once more. That's our one of Stargate. That's actually really good. If they don't have R&D, we can actually have a control over the narrative of what they're drawing, which is really important because they probably have a lot of combo pieces and maybe even fast advance. We do have one bad pub. Let's see another bad pub. Oh, they're actually pushing. Single advance. Okay, here, I think we can risk the bravado. The trebuchet is the only bad thing. If it's a bulwark, we're totally fine with that trade. We get the bad publicity. This costs us only 2 credits, so it's going to be pretty good. There's a trebuchet, so that's the worst case scenario because we lose the ghost tongue. At least we can get through, but we probably have to boost into this trace. I don't think they're on NGO front pretty consistently. So here we actually might have a credit war. This is the sentry. It's also 6 strength, so it costs a lot to get through with the MK Ultra if we find it. But we lost our ghost tongue. That's fine. We can just install more ghost tongues. And here they actually have to spend some money. Trace 7, so they spent 1 credit. Count it. Here, do we want to Axis? There's no agenda in Wayland that on Axis does something bad. It's an Atlas, no surprise. Now with 12 credits, we can actually just keep going back and through here until finally they let us through. And I think that's actually the right play. In fact, we probably should just raindrops now. Yeah, let's just keep forcing them to pay through this because I'll pay 4 credits with bad publicity. That's kind of the downside to the Trace and bad pub. It's actually quite bad. But the raindrops here loses the credit, but it gains us credits, and we draw 2 cards. So here we'll pay 6, which is admittedly 2. That's bad pub. So yeah, this on its own is never the best thing to rush behind. We'll take it. Sig, time bomb. Oh, only central server. Good to know. I don't want to play the running hot until we play Stargate, so why not have our cake and eat it too? We've already run, so we're already risking hard-hitting news. So I think we can Stargate and hope we make a dent on the hard-hitting news. What are we going to do with the rest of our turn? We can maybe run archives and win. They don't seem to be on only 5/3s. Hostile, mouseless, too big to fail. I think we trash the mouseless and steal the hostile. The too big to fail means they'll have a lot of money. We lost our time bomb. At least we have 2 breakers in the bin. Installing this while the trebuchet is on the table, maybe that's a mistake, but we know that they don't have ice on the top of their deck and they have to be threatened by R&D, let alone we've sabotaged 2 unknown cards and we haven't seen Spin Doctor yet. Okay. Okay. There's the ice. So trebuchet is a problem. Tithonium, they can't res. I believe it's 10. Yeah, that was a really good turn, wasn't it? We could always like Botcho's Poison Vial, and that actually flies through some ice. So we'll try and keep this close to our chest as much as our money is a bit busted right now. We have access to not every kind of breaker. We're going to keep the paperclip in hand to play around Arc Nova. Arc Lockdown? Your favorite zoo-based remove from game card. Yeah, this we're forfeiting our ability to contest the remote server, but I'm hoping Stargate does them enough damage. Again, what do we know that they drew? They drew into too big, which again, 3 bad publicity, but at some point if we don't have breakers, it doesn't matter. But we can get our breakers installed pretty cheaply. A 3rd bad pub is like kind of frightening as much as it is 10 credits for them. Yeah, they'll do that. That's fine. It's like a hippo, right? I'm kidding. They didn't res it. Card in the server. Okay. We could just like send it. I think it might be fair to send it. They are 19 credits. I think if we send it and it's like the thing that trashes our ice, I think we're totally fine with that because then we can just run server 1. Yeah, there you go. That's the one that trashes our stuff. Oh, whoops. Admittedly, we can actually trash this, but maybe this is sick. So we installed this. How much bad pub do we have? We had 3 bad pub. So we can trash this. Yeah, but I want to run the trebuchet, so I don't actually think it's worth it. Oh, but then we can Stargate back, but no, we lost our Stargate. This is our only Stargate. We'd have to simul chip it back. The thing is like, okay, so we got the Stargate down for 1. That's okay. We have 4 bad publicity though. Now the trebuchet we break for 2. So I think we just wipe our board. I think I'm not going to do that. Nah, just fire. Because I don't think R&D accesses are that good unless we have. So we're looking for a Rashida here. Could be like a wall-to-wall. But if we don't have a board state, stuff doesn't do anything. And again, we only pay 2 credits to get through this, unless they boost. And we can just force them like every click to boost into this, which is good fun. Like they're thinking about it. They're boosting. Has to be good. The question is, how much are you going to pay to protect a Rashida, right? And with 1 card in hand, I think you need the card draw more than you need the credits. But we also know there's a lot of unknown cards in archives. Trace 9. Okay. You win that one. We can see what this is before we decide what we go back, which is also pretty sick. It's a Rashida. How much are we going to pay for a Rashida? That's the question. Interesting. So we can run back. We have to pay 3 credits to bring down the Rashida with bad pub. Is that worth it? I think at this point it will really slow the game down if we bring down the Rashida. The more money they spend, the less likely they are able to res archives. I think we just keep hitting this as much as this is not advancing our board state. And they play 2 too big to fails. So we need to make sure that we not only have to beat the trace, we have to beat the trace and have a credit left over. There's a chance that 1 card in HQ is an agenda. Board state is a liability anyways. Yeah, you know how it is. You played Anarch before. You don't need board state. Well, eventually. This is 8. Okay, that's fine. We'll jack out to save time. Oh, yeah, true. They did play 1 extra because we need 1 to trash. Do we go again to force them to have credits? Or do we advance our board state? We're not doing much on our turn. I think this is fine. Again, it's not so much about the credits of the Rashida. This is just a fun play if it's not exactly correct. So this is 8 again. So we made them spend 6 credits. Sir Shapers, yeah. Board stage for a world tree. No board state. That's the new world tree. Vamping in the year 2023. Yo, VK, let me show you my lamprey. And like they need to get another ice here. It's only be a matter of time before it's like a wow, whoa, 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 right. I forgot about that one. I honestly did forget that was going to happen to us. They have 8 credits. Well, let's go HQ. I'm sure it doesn't hurt us. Let's do some damage. I mean, let's see the mouseless. We're going to run archives. Oh, that's not good. Let's check this before it's pushed away. 5 cards. 2 of them were rips off of R&D. I didn't fully pay attention. Ooh, a food. We'll take that. Now, if we install 1 card, like I was thinking of installing a time bomb, but as soon as we do that, we lose to single punitive. So I'm going to not do that. And I'm just going to click for credit. Actually, no, we might as well. Credit shouldn't matter. They'd have to double punitive us. Credit actually does matter. I'm just not very good at doing the math. I'll just credit. It might have been right if we were faster doing the math to draw 1 to discard the paperclip. But hey, we're on game point. We got a time bomb. And the remote server doesn't exist. Sprint. Again, we know a mouseless that will not keep us out, but it will slow us down. We can't really afford to float tags. It's scary with only 3 hand size. Hey, Macaroni, how's it going? How's your Friday? But we've seen 1 spin doctor. Also, if we see here, it's just like more than I thought. I'd be surprised to see Enigma. We know there's an Audacity, which is not a surprise. There's going to be some fast events there. But that's 2 sprints out. It's the only influence we've seen besides spin doctor, if I'm not mistaken. You thinking what I'm thinking? They sprinted. The chance of them having agendas in HQ is pretty unlikely. We know they have a mouseless. We can learn something about them. But here is, again, it's 2 credits to access. Let's run HQ. We're going to get the time bomb down for sure. Okay, that's good to know because we can deal with that. Let's force some money here and maybe. Got to play Essa in real life for the first time this week. It was fun. Trashed 25 cards. Didn't see any agendas with 2x Nightmare Archives. Yeah, that seems unlucky. But yeah, knowing when to sabotage is actually like one of the biggest like skills you need in an Essa deck. I'll pay 2. If it's a wall-to-wall, we can't deal with it. Oh, sorry. Whoops. I meant I'll pay 2 in my pocket. It's a Zato. That's fine. Well, we'll get that down. Essa is a good time. Essa is really fun. It's unfortunate some matchups just like don't feel that great. But it's really fun in person to see the damage because like forcing someone to do something is really good. Oh, that's a problem. They probably top deck that. The issue now is the R&D is like totally watertight. We can paperclip through this. Again, we have to install our paperclip, which is going to cost 4. And then we have to break it, which is going to cost 7. That's only for a single, which is pretty bad. So we want to get a Chastushka or something to make sure that we get a lot of damage in a couple turns. Hey, House, I'm new to Standard coming from startup. When you're counting on influence points, is it safe to assume your opponent's almost always on max influence? Yeah, I would say 95 to 100%. You might as well count to max influence. There's like no strategic reason not to spend influence. That being said, there was like a deck that did really well in the last tournament that was running 16 of 17 influence, but there's no reason not to do it. There's no benefit. There's no cards. And generally influence is used to let you do something that either your faction or your identity doesn't excel with. So you can import some nice tricks. So yeah, just about 100% of the time you should. 14 influence MVN gang rise up. Bravado is nice. We can just Bravado HQ. Not really the most important thing here. Getting some credits is important because we're gonna have to get accesses on R&D. Let's just test the waters here. Yeah, but it's almost always. Counting influence is important. A lot of people don't do it. For me, why I'm wanting counting influence right now, it's not so much that I want to know exactly where each influence is. Oh shit, I forgot we have a time bomb. Oh man. At least we have 5 bad pub. It's more so to figure out if they have really big key cards. Like hard hitting news is a really important one. It's only 2 influence. And that's a really important one to know. Or like big deal is also a 5 influence card that could make sense in this archetype. I want to make sure that to see if that's a possibility. Because as soon as you know they don't have 5 extra influence, you don't have to play around the big deal, for instance. That's why they weren't rezzing, and that makes sense. Probably could have pieced that together. So unfortunately our time bomb's going down. Now we still go through this. The question is whether we want to pay 2 credits to access. I don't think we do. Oh, in fact, we can't. We still can access. We just can't steal or trash. There's an after. That is an end the run. Let's keep drawing. Marrow's okay. It's a bit of sabotage. But I'm really scared if they draw the last regulatory. But now HQ, if we want to go in, is only 1 credit, right? Because we have 5 bad pub. That's pretty good. Not another hostile spin doctor. Okay. No MK in the bin yet? We just got one. But like breaking this is a nightmare, even if you have 4 bad publicity or 5 bad publicity, right? It's really difficult because you have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 9 credits. So yeah, maybe 4 to break isn't the worst, but also not the best. Oh, on that run too, we had no money. Not let alone obviously we had no MK, but yeah, we had no money. So okay, we're gonna deal with this. Then we're gonna do some sabotage. I think we want to keep the poison vial. I don't actually think it hits any breakpoints unless we botulus. We can botulus through bulwark. But we need to make sure we're caring about our money because I do think we need to get accesses. The first access is really expensive because it's 4 plus 7. Yeah, it's 11 credits. But after that, it's only 6. What are we drawing up into? I don't think we're drawing up. We should just install this. Hit the paperclip. That's perfect. We have a steel skin. I goofed and I thought it was like bulwark and you pick the card to trash. Yeah. Trebuchet is just way better because they choose. This says the runner trashes a program, but anytime a card just says trash one installed runner card, you have to imagine it as it's the corpse card. So the corp fires that subroutine. You don't let the subroutine. Well, you let the subroutine fire. You don't fire the subroutine yourself as a runner. So yeah, they choose. Hand size is up. Fermenter's not worth anything here. We're just struggling again. Losing our 1 of Stargate's bad, but we do have a 3 or 2 simul chips, excuse me, in the list, and that actually could help. They sabotaged what? 2 from HQ. So running here is not that good. Running HQ here is good now. The hedge fund. We'll try and get some damage in HQ. Let's go. Oh, keep forgetting we're installing cards. It's fine. It was worth the sabotage. It was worth the sabotage. Install MK Ultra. No. I'm trying to win with no cards. 0 card challenge. Anti-PE tech. Just like PE. Install very few cards. We've won. We trash a Rashida. It's a mouseless. You love it. Let's just go archives here. If it's a mouseless, that could maybe hit our steel skin. But this game's all about the last regulatory because as soon as that's out, this is not a good run because they threw out cards from hand. Yeah, all the code gates. Yeah, we probably shouldn't have done that run. YOLO. Doing that last click is also a bit pretty bad because they can sabotage safely, but we want to get our 1 sabotage a turn because next turn we do the running hot and then from there we keep going. We're gonna get rid of the fermenter. They did 2 from HQ again. Yeah, that's kind of the thing is they could sabotage from HQ safely, especially if they know they have a spin doctor in hand. Install. That's on a Zato. Install advance. Audacity. Oh, Atlas. Oh, this is cool too. If you Audacity into a Marrow, you have to actually trash one card from R&D. So this is going to be all cards from R&D. Going to 0 cards against, what's it called? Against ESA is actually like kind of a liability. Oh, we missed our steel skin. Come on. Okay. That's 2 more. Would love a Chastushka. We're going to try and Chastushka here with steel skin. Would love a Chastushka. Just give me a Chastushka. Just give me 3 Chastushka on the bottom 14. Oh, you hate to see it. Please. They can res something that ends the run here. With 7 credits means we can get through all the code gates. Like magnet and stuff. Nothing. 1 more spin doctor out. Raindrop HQ for 2 draw. It's a really bad access. But yeah, maybe we just need the card draw down. I think we draw on Chastushka. Oh, no Chastushka. Yeah, maybe Raindrop wasn't good there. What does it do? It only gave us 2 credits. Yeah, no, we definitely shouldn't have Raindropped Archives. I thought it would draw us at least 1 card. I misunderstood how that card worked fundamentally. So that's not good. Tsiahia, yeah, Tsiahia is okay. Tsiahia lets us deal with R&D. The problem is like Tsiahia doesn't do anything if you install it mid-turn. So yeah, they can top deck here. We have, we can get, okay, if we play this, we'll have 9 credits. So we can see the top deck of R&D. That's kind of important because there's so many cards that they top deck, they win. They top deck regulatory, they win. They top deck hostile, they win. So I wonder if we just need to have, if we have this, we have, I probably should have thought before playing that. Sorry, thinking. So if we have 5 credits, we run with 5 bad publicity. To get through this again, it would be 4 to install a breaker. And then we need a break for 7. So that's 11. So even when we play the sure gamble, we're short there. Botchlist doesn't get through it because you need a botchlist to 2 end the run programs or 2 end the runs. Admittedly, you can trash the botchlist to the first while after breaking the latter 2. It's one of the weird times where double end the run subroutines. You don't often see that. We don't want to sabotage. Bad pub. I don't think bad pub covers it. Oh, you're right. Bad pub. No, you're right. I did the math wrong. Thank you. Huge. 9 because we're at 14. Yeah, that's enough. Yeah, we have to do this. Install. Figured it out. Yeah, with gamble. I totally forgot I was counting the bet. We're so good. We're so good. Wow. Oof. Looking for if we had the what's it called, we would have won. So bad. Mulligan. The early trebuchet remote is always funny with bad pub. Can you bring back the Stargate? We'd have to trash something with Simulchip, right? Because you can't just reinstall it. You have to install, trash another program. So we have to spend a click on a program, then we have to bring the Stargate. It's a bit of a mess. We're 1 click too short. Now, if they top deck this, they couldn't have won with it because they had no way to score it out above the law. But if we drew into a Chastushka, that would have had to mill the top 4 of R&D. Oh, the next card. Honestly, maybe the right play there was to draw Chastushka HQ, but then they still can top deck it and win. But yeah, we were just short of the 3 Chastushkas, which would have closed it there. If we had the what's it called, we would have won. He says, you won the game? Yeah, I know. We found what's it called. We didn't find what's it called. Thanks for the game. Hey, thanks you too. Yeah, board state's not that important. Immediately Banhart would have been sick. Like this is a really good ice to Banhart through, especially when you don't care about much else. And I think they were just on fast events. It doesn't seem like they had any sort of kill combo, but we also saw frightening little influence. I wouldn't be surprised if this deck does have like a big deal in it to sink like 5 influence, considering money's pretty easy to come by in that deck. We also didn't see any, what's it called? The asset that we have to trash, the borehole, which would have been quite fun. Okay, let's do news real quick. If you're just tuning in, it's Metropole Grid. How's everyone doing? Thanks for dropping by. We got some news, and then we're going to go and do some startup. And I haven't done startup I did startup for 1 day in 2023. Oh, it's on Biotic. Hey, Sanjay, nice little tier to go with Zano if you have some spare info. Yo, Sanjay, I listened to the ShadowNet talking about the submissions from your household, and I hadn't seen it. Oh, Seabass, good game. It's on Biotic. That's how you know. Excuse me. How can I see the photos? Because I want to see the photos because I really appreciate the Ampere joke. And I saw Jingles's. All right, let's do some news real quick. Firstly, the Circuit Breaker Invitational was just last weekend. 70 plus players joined in. These are all the players that won a Circuit Breaker invite by playing in organized play as of the last year, and they came together online to play. It was 2 days. It was all streamed online. It was really good. You can go check that out. Normally, I would say go to twitch.tv/nullsignalnetrunner and subscribe, and I think you should do that anyways. But what's really, really, really sick is that Null Signal is now just putting VODs up on YouTube kind of like in the same week, which is really important. The links are in the description. I'm on Spotify. On my phone, I don't click on links. Yeah, no, you probably are. That's awesome. So if you want to watch them, again, it's YouTube, search Null Signal Games. That's their handle. It actually still works if you go to youtube.com/Project Nisei, I'm pretty sure, in the handle bar, in the search bar. But that's it. That's really cool. Really stoked for that. Congrats to all the players in it. It was a big event, and you saw the archetypes you thought you'd see. This is also huge news. Feels like Worlds was just around the corner. Oh, hold on. Sanjay, I'm going to open your photos without screening them because I trust you. Okay, I'm going to shout out the ShadowNet. This is the Ampere, what's it called? Pen, what's the pun? Ampere pen, how do you make this work? Ampere perdu, something like that. This looks horrific. In short, if you're not familiar with the ShadowNet, every holiday they do a contest for folks to submit stuff that they've baked, Sanjay, and a competition to make some sort of food that is related to Netrunner. And this is Sanjay's. This is un pain perdu. The joke here is that it's like a pain perdu, which is French toast largely, except it only has one of every ingredient, I think, which is the really fun Ampere joke. The World's 2022 VODs are finally up. Yeah, I saw those. Those have been coming in recently. I was going to plug this because some unnamed person may have taken over the process. Yo, huge shout out, Yasengrin. That's sick. Sanjay made it to the finals, it seems, of this contest. I think how the finals are addressed are really funny. Oh, this is baked. This is a bread. Did you actually make a bread in this? Is there cornflakes in it? Why did you put cornflakes in this? This is really funny. And I'm pretty sure Sanjay's partner made something too that's meant to look quite nice. You just got Netrunner stuff in the background. Phenomenal. This is what your partner made, right? I forget what it is. Basilar, Synthclan, and Hush. I don't know. Added crunch. One of everything, baby. Got some cereal. Yeah, it's one of everything, which is a really good Ampere joke, but probably an absolutely horrific thing to eat. Sanjay, did you eat it? That's actually probably not that bad. Cornflakes are fine. It's Monster energy drink with steamed milk. Yikes. What's the sprinkles on it? Oh man. So this Sanjay's Ampere Perdu is in the finals, if I'm not mistaken, versus Jinglis, who made, and I wish I could show the photos. I'll try and do it next week because I don't have them on hand. But he made, you can find them if you find the ShadowNet. He made a cake with the submerged what's it called? Thule, like that, and then filled it in with like a blue kind of gelatin like thing. So it looks like an underwater cake. It's kind of like a mud fudge cake to be like the seabed. It's really sick. Probably a lot of work went into that, which is sick. Ingredients are singleton. The French toast casserole is incredible. What? The monster latte was also incredible in a much different way. Oh man, yeah, that looks horrific. But 10 out of 10. That's absolutely amazing. There were some really nice words about your family up on the stream, which is great. Okay, first I want to talk about this real quick. Announcing the 2023 World Championships location and dates. So people have been rumbling for a while that Worlds next year was going to be in Europe. Specifically, that was kind of confirmed by the Null Signal folks who want to kind of alternate between at least hemispheres, I guess. And a lot of people thought it would be in like in Berlin, in Germany. We got a confirmation from PSK that the 2023 World Championships, we have dates and locations. So firstly, it'll be the 13th, 14th, and 15th of October, 2023. That's probably still Canadian Thanksgiving. Sick. But it's going to be held in Barcelona, which is in Spain, which is absolutely phenomenal. I think that's where PSK is, so that makes a lot of sense. And they show the location, Caceres. I don't know how to pronounce that. And they show this image of it. There's a lot of images if you go to the website. The place looks absolutely gorgeous, specifically a place to like play Netrunner. In Barcelona, I've heard absolutely fantastic stuff as a place to go and see and hang out and be. Right? Worlds was in Toronto this year. It was fantastic. I'm excited to get on a plane and travel across the world to play Netrunner. You betcha. I'm very, very exciting. It's the week after Thanksgiving. Oh, sick. So much better. Huge. Okay, that's a lot better. Insomnia has its benefits. Finally catching a stream. Chris Bartholomew, how's it going? Hopefully you're sleeping okay, but welcome to the stream. This is thick. You better show this cake. I don't. Oh, did you find it? Oh, this is the cake. Okay, this is Jingless's cake. Okay, yeah, I will show this. We'll talk about worlds, but in short, so in reverse order, this is the cake being put together. It's cut into layers. I think Jingless did this with a friend, if I'm not mistaken. So this thing gets painted to look like the Thule ship or the Thule like home base, and then it gets covered in a mold and filled with what this blue I can only describe as some sort of acrylic. It's almost definitely food, and then it gets pulled in. That's probably not the image, and then it becomes this, where you see there's also sharks floating around in it. I think it cracked or something, but I don't think that really matters. This thing looks really, really, really cool. It's very, very exciting. Also, JDank will be streaming and we won't lock you away in a dark tent for 2 days. Yo, okay, to hear that Nelson has locked in streaming for Worlds already is really cool, let alone as JDank, who like is a very, very like full-time professional stream person. As far as I understand, that's sick. Not a dark tent for 2 days. Sign me up, Sonny Bars. Hey Rockman, glad I can finally catch you. It's been a moment since the last live stream I could catch live. Yo, you picked a good one. We're gonna be doing some startup. We just gotta finish some news real quick, but hey, welcome to stream. Glad you can make it. The cake is so freaking good. I'm dead in this finals. Sanjay, you're probably pretty dead in the finals, but I think that's largely because the person ruling this, who's making the final decision, is not gonna appreciate the joke. Hey, Excelina Sleep Squad, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Almost certainly food. It probably is food. I was talking to Jingless about this, and I think he said it tasted good, which is always good. Like, you know, there's a lot of focus on making a nice structural cake that looks like something, but I don't know. I hope it tastes good, and I'm pretty sure this tasted pretty good. So, yo, well done to everyone. There's a bunch of other people who entered. Go check out their submissions. Again, the Shadownets are a fun episode. You get to hear, you know, Eric be critical about stuff, but it's generally pretty okay criticism. I think I may have tacked my whole family into a Barcelona vacation. One of my Netrunner buddies lives there. Yeah, yo, for real. When at Worlds, they basically confirmed that it's going to be a European Worlds, and then you know, part of my family were like, "Oh, we're gonna figure out how to play Netrunner just so we can go to Berlin." But I honestly think Barcelona is a equally nice surprise. Is this competition called the Global Food Initiative? I forget what actually the name is. It's no, it's like the Christmas Bake Off. It has like the British name. That name would be too good for the Shadownet. Woof. This is sick. Sign me up. Definitely excited to hear more. Again, as obviously tickets are not for sale, I don't know if lodgings or anything is going to be available attached to this. Obviously pay attention to the website, but at least if you know the dates. So if you want to go, it's sick. Again, I don't know this year. Huge shout outs to Bushi and the whole fund to help people get to Worlds that might not have been able to afford it. For this last year, it was a massive success, and I think it's absolutely fantastic from the organizational standpoint of Bushi getting all this stuff together, all the artists putting their stuff together, and then people obviously donating and participating in that fund is phenomenal. But regardless, if you want to watch the stream, you know what it's going to be. It's going to be a weekend in October. Okay, last thing real quick, self-plug. I haven't put out a video in a while, and so I don't have enough time to shout out my patrons. Huge shout out to my patrons that support this channel. A lot of times at the end of the videos, we get bigger shout outs to the Sure Gamble folks than the Green Mill folks, but the Daily Cast folks, you're honestly just as cool. Sorry about that. One thing I want to shout out is I've been doing like pretty consistent now for a couple months, what we call degree mill sessions, which are one-on-one. They go for 2 hours, usually 2 hours a month. Some people do with a higher cadence than that, where we sit down and focus on Netrunner fundamentals of what you want to learn to improve your play. We have like players who are new enough to the game, startup players. A lot of the players are actually a bit more experienced than I expected when I set up this whole system. But what I want to say is that there's currently an active slot. I've opened up the slots for this secretly a couple days ago. So there's a slot right now open. If you want to sign in and grab that, you can do it. But I also don't want to make this the thing. Like only people who are viewing right now have access to this. So even if this does fill up and you're interested to some extent to this sort of degree mill thing, maybe you just want to try it out and do it for 1 month and see how it is. That's totally fine. The reason why I bring this up is I've made a new booking system that helps me so much. I can just kind of, we can talk. There's a survey to ask like what you want to get out of the project. And then I can send you a calendar and you can book what makes sense for you. And that actually has been helping a lot. And now that I have that, I'm actually a bit more excited to open this up to more people because I've been spending a lot of time like doing manual appointment making, and it's a bit difficult. But if you are interested in that sort of thing and this is filled up, or even if it's not, if you want to shout at an email, send an email to metropolegrid@gmail.com. I'll be in contact. So yeah, it's cool. I want to try and film one of these with obviously consent from someone who I'm with and put it up on the channel at some point so you can see a bit how it works. Because I don't know, I think they've been cool. Totally down to buy another supporter pack to get people to Worlds. Yeah, for sure. I don't know if that's happening, if Dan's going to do that, so I'm not going to sign him up for something, but I just want to, yeah, it was a cool thing. I'll actually be in Munich for a few days in March. I'll be there. Is there a Netrunner scene there? There's definitely a Netrunner scene. I'm not going to say in Munich specifically, but Germany classically has had a pretty big Netrunner scene. But you can definitely check out on the Null Signal page. There's a list of global communities. There'll probably be like a Discord or something. It'd be cool being more stuff like the unrelated to slinging cardboard. What do you mean, X-Ren? Oh man, pretty cool. Though I do have a question. Does getting your degree mill happen to disqualify me from interacting with the Sumscast in any way, shape, or form? Only if you want to. But if you had your degree mill degree and you could hold that over the Sumscast people who they're currently not certified, I think that would do well. Can I book a time to learn how to use product condenser effectively? No. In the survey, it tells you really quickly that is not going to work. Run together is happening again. Quote Dan. Oh, sick. Super sick. Thank you, Xran. All right, so it's going to happen again, it seems. That's really good. He's looking for some organizational help. If you want to help Dan organize Run Together, the fun to bring people to Worlds, hit up Dan. You can find Dan pretty easily. Bushi. Okay, I'm out of deck slots. I'm just going to delete stuff real quick. We can kind of look at the history of what I've done. This is a Laramie Fisk deck with 2 Gravedigger. This is almost too cool, and 3 Contaminate. This is almost too cool to delete. Let's not delete that. Personal Revolution, it's just an Mushin Argus deck. Yeah, you're getting deleted. You are Prelude in C major. That's a sick Bach piece. Unfortunately, it's a Mwanza deck, so I cannot be associated with that publicly. Driving to Mass. There's a Mass driver in here, isn't there? We'll delete that one too. And we'll just do one more. That's the res of the story. These must not be titles I made. We must have copied these in. This is a Turntable Rubicon Switch deck, also probably toxic. Let's get rid of those, and we can all move on together. Max 112, a product of its time. Max 112 is a product of all times. It was the best way to do Max forever. And it literally took the competitive players like 6 years of Max to figure out that the best Max was the biggest Max. I'm joking, but only slightly. These must have been copied. No, really. There's quality decks in there, I swear. Was thinking there'd be a Fear the Masses lat deck. Oh, that's another good idea. All right, we're playing startup. Give me 1 second. Just pick any Dan. If you pick the wrong one, they know the right Dan. You know how Dans are. Dans are tight. Essenspiel also is October 5th to 8th for your information. If anyone's looking to plan a 2-week board game Euro trip, yo, Burden. That sounds incredibly expensive, but probably like the coolest thing ever. To go from Essenspiel to Barcelona for your October. Talk about it, huh? That's really cool. I think Essenspiel at this point, like people already have hotels booked and stuff though. I'm imagining. I haven't been. All right. The real 112 was the 114 we made along the way. Poison Vial Quetzal, let's go. Okay, so we're playing Startup. If you're not familiar with Startup, very small card pool. This is in fact the smallest card pool. I don't have a graphic right now, unfortunately. But this is only the system gateway, a system update, and then Borealis. That's it. No ashes. No Magnum Opus, but it never was. It just sometimes gets confusing because Null Signal printed Magnum Opus too. But that's it. And it's a really small set. And if you've been playing Startup, I think people have mixed opinions about Startup from the last rotation. And currently what I've heard from people playing Startup, and I honestly don't know how many people are playing Startup compared to what they were playing Startup before. I think to some extent, some Startup players are getting more comfortable going into Standard because a lot of their favorite cards rotated and they just want to hold on to them. And I hear you. But there's so many fundamental core pieces of Startup that rotated with the rotation in December when Parhelion came out. Like really core cards, like the entire Anarch economy suite of like all the companions and all that sort of stuff. And even what's her face, Hoshiko, gone. Even weird staples like Earthrise Hotel, if I'm not mistaken, in Daily Cast, gone. Obviously Rizeki gone. That's kind of cool. You still have Endurance. That probably is a pain point. And again, there will be some balance things and all of that is going to be happening, but it's a really small suite of cards. And so if you're getting to Netrunner right now, again, it's really awkward because a lot of people got into Netrunner like 5 months ago and then telling them 4 months in their cards are not legal for a format. Yeah, I can see the pain in that for sure. But if you're getting right now, it's actually like a very approachable deck. And I think Corpse actually got probably some stronger win conditions, which was a bit of a struggle currently in former Startup, is that there was this inevitable economy over time engines that runners had access to and corporations that kind of struggle to do a lot. We'll see if that changes. Again, tags are still kind of relevant right now, or are now relevant as much as No Free Lunch probably should be played pretty consistently. Same with pinhole threading. We'll see if it goes. Hotel's still there. Very good. Good to know. Hotel's still there. Daily Cast is gone. Cerebral Overrider, gone. Other weird staples are gone. Simochip, gone. Self-modifying code, gone. Like, it's weird. It's really weird how different things are. Doing startup content right after finish async link decks were locked down. Oh, had a really hard time coping with no Bravado and Boomerang. That's a good one too. Boomerang, Botchless is still around. Boomerang's gone. Bravado also gone. Yeah, there's some really big exclusions in the format. Rizeki can stay 6 feet under. You can't keep the orb down. Don't make me read my orb text again. I've been enjoying Nova as a nice excuse to play good stuff runner while also getting some janky plausible deniability. Very similar to Big Max. Yeah, Nova, I'd be like interested to see what Nova looks like in this format where it actually might be hard to get together 40 cards. At least it won't be hard to get to down to 40 cards, which Standard has that issue where I build a 60 card Nova deck. And Pair less so, but I've heard stuff. Sting is gone. Oh, that's a good one. Spark of Inspiration is a fun SMC alternative. Man, I've been playing Spark of Inspiration in Standard, trying it just in a criminal deck, and let me tell you, I don't think it's good enough. Just getting the cheap breaker, and by the cheap breaker, I mean it's whatever the breaker the game gives you. Like, oh, did you need your killer? Sorry, here's your Amina. Feels really quite bad. And I feel like to really break that card open, you're going to need to do other really expensive clunky stuff like Test Run. Unfortunately, also like Concerto doesn't work in any way with that sort of ice suite. Like it just doesn't make sense unless you do like Concerto and then rejig something. But like Concerto doesn't work. I want to leave the card on top of the deck. Whatever. I've only tried startups so far. Maxwell, how's it going? Having tons of fun. Jaden having issues about card legality and the deck builder's a little annoying though. Oh, I didn't know about that. I guess we're going to figure that out real soon. World Tree 3X Mayfly. That's the way to start startup. I'm going to start. So, okay, the little startup I've played so far has been Anarch. And what I've been told or experienced from Anarch so far is that the most consistent way in Anarch that you have to getting any sort of multi-axis or any sort of pressure is playing Essa. And that's because Stargate's rotated. Classically, the Anarch you would largely play if you want to play something competitive or like consistent enough in startup. And again, we don't have to play the best startup deck. We want to play a functional startup deck. It was Hoshiko. And all that's gone. So right now, if you want to play Anarch and you want to get disruption and multi-axis and that sort of stuff, you're kind of looking at Sabotage and Finality, which is a core damage pseudo-sabotage card. So Essa seems to be like the Anarch to play. I think Shaper, you can just build the Padma deck, take a Lat deck and basically play the same thing. You have to make a couple other interesting decisions. Your Breaker Suite, you have some options, Fixed Strength Breakers and what's it called? Turbine's really popular. I've seen a fair bit of that. But I want to try Criminal because I think Sable, basically like Sable is, again, kind of like Essa, you have all the pieces together. Like, I don't think there's anything that Sable loses that bad besides Bravado and Daily Casts, which hopefully we have other ways to do that. Lou is decent. I think Lou's probably okay. The thing that like really isn't great for Lou is like you lose DreamNet, and like DreamNet is actually a really important Lou card if you ask me in startup, because if you are using your console, and again the console choices got a lot more limited, you need a lot of card draw. So maybe you have to play Wake Implant or sorry, Zenith's Chip, but it's really hard. Like using Carnivore, you just kind of slowly bleed tempo. It's really difficult. Spark is absolutely awful in Standard, Shaper, and I don't know why people think otherwise. I've barely seen it. Shaper wants a toolkit, and that just doesn't work with Spark when you pull Misdirection or Claw on turn 2. Yeah, I know. You definitely put it in a deck that's not running like self-modifying code or Misdirection. Like you play it if it only is like, oh, this is my Ngolo and like 2 Fems and like an Orca or whatever. I think you have to do something interesting. Yeah, Into the Depths and Boat are definitely very, very prevalent. And I think there's a reason to play Boat and Sable. I'm going to try and avoid it if we can. Krimis Deep Dive Sable and Cybernetics. I've been trying that with Zaya. You have card draw in your ability in lieu. You do, but it's still, you lose cards, right? Like you're still down 2 cards to draw 1. Right? Like you're losing a card. Like Imp is better than that console. Is there a startup Nova and pair tourney? I think I've heard of singleton tourneys. I don't know if they're startup or the standard though. JNet card startup filter shows cards that aren't startup legal and the deck builder doesn't catch up until you save the deck. Oh, okay. We'll see how that goes. That doesn't sound fun. Lou and Padma are the 2 consistently best runners I see. Interesting. Okay. Again, I haven't seen a lot of startups, so who knows? We'll find out together, I reckon. But yeah, I'd be surprised. I think Essa's fun for what it's worth. Essa's fun. I've been struggling in Anarch with economy though. So much of their econ's gone. Vale has an async singleton event running now. Is it startup or standard? I'm in a standard Ampere Nova tournament. That's probably that one. Vesper's running in a GLC. Okay, cool. All right. So we're going to just put together all the cards that we think are good cards and we're going to cut down. We're going to describe a bit of what our strategy is. We're going to do like some basic deck building stuff together. I do not know what the startup meta looks like. So I don't know whether we have to run no free lunch. I don't know whether we need to run pinhole threading. I don't know whether having some sort of damage prevention or card draw mid click at instant speed is like really worth it. So we're going to play this as if it's just like we're playing generic Netrunner because I don't know better, for better or worse. So what do we want to play? Out of all these criminal cards, honestly, none of them sound that great. I'm kidding. Okay, so Career Fair, we're going to put 1 in as a consideration. I think there's going to be a fair few resources that we want to consider playing. Rest in peace, Class Act. Oh, we lose Class Act. Oh, what are we doing out here? What are we doing out here? I don't know. We don't have Daily Cast and Class Act? Okay. Forged, baby. Yo, Ranji. Yeah. Were you playing the Forged? Were you playing the Forged deck? The criminal Forged deck with no win condition? I think it was yours, right? It was really funny to read that thing up. Tried startup, faced Thule 3 times in a row, went back to standard. You'll find the same thing in standard. You know it. Yo, well played. Good job. Well, congrats on the tournament finish. That's a fun deck. I'm so surprised that you didn't have a win condition. You probably should put one in your deck. Inside Job, I think Inside Job is nice. Inherently Sable with Mark, we're going to put more of a pressure on central servers, so having a way to contest the remote server seems totally reasonable. Mutual favor, yeah, why not? I don't think we're going to be playing. Maybe we can have the minute here to try out Tunnel Vision. I'm not a Tunnel Vision believer, but we'll get there. No Snare Bears run win cons, just try and level the playing field. Okay, what are you, Eric? That sounds like Eric talking over there. Level the playing field. Okay. It's suggesting Dirty Laundry. That is technically a legal card, right? Yeah, system update. That's good. I think we'll play 3 of those. It makes sense for our mark. New sec testing, yeah, we'll get there for sure. There's a lot of good stuff. Penny's Haver, yeah, definitely. Well, probably. Okay, big decision, big fork in the road when it comes to building a mark deck, and that is what your console wants to be. Because I think there's some good reason why you'd want to try and play Virtuoso. And let me tell you, from my testing of Virtuoso, it is a bit weird. Maybe we misevaluated this one a bit, but the way I see Virtuoso is that it's either console slot's really important, right? Because you can be playing either Penny Shaver or in standard Paragon, and those are both very good cards. Penny Shaver inherently is just this very strong economy card because we're going to be running consistently and clicklessly, and this just gives you money. Having a lot of money in the game is important. It opens up all the doors. So that's really good. Now, Virtuoso lets you see additional cards or makes your other bad marks into good HQ marks, ideally. And for what I've seen, it's kind of a mixed bag, right? Like if you're doing really well already in a game, you're already seeing HQ a heck of a lot. Like if you're running central servers pretty quickly or even running R&D consistently because your mark is there, you're seeing the cards that they draw up into HQ, which means very often the additional benefit from Virtuoso is like doesn't translate into anything. Like if you're already so focused on central servers, this is actually less impactful than you'd think it would be because you've already hammered HQ and R&D pretty heavily. You know, there's no agendas in there. Admittedly though, if they are icing of all centrals, that kind of slows them down. And then with the Inside Job, they're not pushing into a remote server and hopefully that like cascades and then they flood up on HQ, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I've actually found Virtuoso to be really strange. I think maybe Virtuoso actually works in more of a control deck, if that was a real thing, where like you run every couple turns and you camp the remote server, and then the agenda stays stuck in central servers when you're not running a lot. It's a bit counterintuitive to me. But yeah, I haven't been impressed with Virtuoso in an aggressive deck. And yeah, anyways, in the aggressive deck, Penny Shaver is a bit better. So we're going to do that. Oh, Swift rotated. Yeah, that's true. Don't you run out of money if you don't have Penny Shaver? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Startup economy, I have no idea how to judge it, but yeah, it's really, really good. I feel like Virtuoso is 1 credit too expensive. Well, maybe. I think even if there's 3 credits, we still run into a problem. Not to be a normie, but if you're gonna, sorry, that moved up. If you're gonna play Virtuoso, just play Sable. Oh, I see what you mean. Yes. You need support for Virtuoso to sing, like including twinning. Yo, Vincent, I don't even know if that's the case, right? Like we just run into the same problem. Obviously, this is good because they work together. In standard, you have Amakua to double counter. That works well with Virtuoso. But the point is, if you're hammering central servers so consistently, with Chesva for free, like, I don't know, it just doesn't work. Is Tremolo so very bad or am I playing it wrong? I think Tremolo is good. I don't know if Tremolo is necessary because Cleaver is still really good, but Tremolo is really good if you have the Cybernetics. It also depends how slow the meta is, whether you can install all of them. Virtuoso makes your markers on archives into a sneak door beta. Yeah, you can also just play sneak door beta though. Like I get it, but like the idea is if you're already playing Mark, you're probably hammering centrals and then you're going to see cards that are not agendas. I don't know. It's weird. It's really weird. You can break for free Echo on 8 with Tremolo. Yeah. Yeah. But well, you break it for like 3 or 4. Like you don't break Echo for a lot of money with Cleaver anyways. But anyways, other stuff we want to play. I want to play Zenith chips. Brand makes Cleaver cry. Yeah. Tremolo is still kind of expensive though. Like Brand is just kind of good. You could always play, like if you're worried about that, you can just play Poison Vial. You can click once and then use this. Like that works really well. There's other ways to deal with it, but yeah, Brand's kind of hard for everything. Unless you're playing, what's it called? The Turbine, K2CP. Yeah, anyways, that's good. Awakened Planet's like the strongest multi-axis in the format. There's not a lot of disruption with that Stargate gone, so like this is kind of what we got, but this is really good. And this does not work with inherently doesn't work with Virtuoso, but that's pretty good. And we want to play a couple Cybernetics. We'll see how many we're playing before we get the Tremolo in it. To be fair, it's hard to squeeze Sneak Door into a rig because Chesva's so good. No, that's true. That's true. Can we get at least one meme card? I think you have to in startup. I don't think you can play like not meme cards. There's a big chance Penny Shaver Docklands Pass is good enough. Ice Wall and Pharos make Cleaver stat as well. If anyone advances their Ice Wall to the point that Cleaver struggles with it, just play Botulus. But admittedly, like I feel like you're kind of winning if they've advanced their Ice Wall that many times. All right, I think the meme card we maybe plays Tunnel Vision. Again, I'm not a Tunnel Vision believer, but we'll try it out. Penweave is good in Sable. Oh, I forgot about Penweave. Yeah, Penweave is a cybernetic too. We want to play it. Anyways, we'll try Tremolo. We'll play 2 of each so we can lose one and it's not the end of the world. We lost Begulter. What does a Breaker Suite look like in startup? I'm immediately don't know what's a Breaker Suite look like? It's Carmen. I have to learn the numbers on Carmen now. That is what startup is asking for me. Is Drafter legal? No. Drafter's not legal. Ghost Tongue is a cybernetic. I don't know if we're playing enough events for it. And the problem with Ghost Tongue is like you need a lot of them. Like considering like I think there's some reason we could consider playing prepaid voice pad over Ghost Tongue. Cat's Cradle, yeah, I don't know. I don't love this. It seems really expensive. Resources are cool though. I always use Hyperbaric for 3 influence because Cat's Cradle is so expensive. If anything, I would do like one of these and then one. Like the thing is about our deck is that we are very inherently, we want to run as cheaply as possible because we're all about like payoff for running. So spending influence to get the cheapest breakers into your deck is actually quite important. So I think we're going to spend influence on our breakers. You can also play Revolver. I think Revolver is really good. You just need support for Revolver. But like Revolver deals with on sell really well. It deals with almost every sentry for pennies. I think Revolver is actually quite good in the format. How many cybernetics are good enough to make Tremolo good? Well, Zenith Wake Panweave is like kind of good on its own. On top of that, like you can import some stuff. Some people like Hippocampic. I'm not the biggest fan of it. You could play Basilar, I guess. Support like Simulchip? Oh no, but you play what's it called? Like you can play Asmoon and then you can also play Wake Implant. Or not, sorry, wow, Poison Bow. But yeah, you're right. Simulchip's gone. Okay, Info Bounty. I'm going to play 2 of. This seems like an important card that we get it. Wow, there are no resources. What is startup? Yeah, we'll play Chesva for sure. I don't like 3 of them because I feel like you need other cards sooner than the Chesva. But it's nice. It allows you to trash stuff. We spend no influence, and we're going to see what the influence looks like. Like, the cool thing about startup is that even if you hit all the buttons, it's not in it. Like, these are all the resources. Like, you don't need to do filtering. It's not overwhelming. So what else can we spend influence on? Backstitching is like, okay, I'd rather just play a 3rd inside job sooner than that. Nuka is like fine. Is Nuka good enough? Arzon just said Nuka is good. Dr. Nuka is really good. Okay, we'll play the 2 doctors. Is there a real scarcity resource in startup? Huh? We're lucky not. I've been a big fan of liberated accounts in a lot of the mark-based decks because I feel like if you're ever locked out, so much of your economy is tied into interaction, and it seems important to have some economy that is not interaction-based. So I would kind of be okay with liberated accounts, but I'd be only really excited to play this if we're also unironically playing Career Fair. And I don't think we have Career Fair. Red team's not so bad in startup. Yeah, red team's not the worst, but like red team doubles down on the fact, like if they triple ice centrals on turn 1, we have a bit of work to do. And then like Tunnel Vision's pretty bad. Yeah, I think we do Liberated Earthrise Career Fair and then just go that way. Like we can just get in a couple of these. And then we can do like maybe 2 red team. Earthrise, we have Nuka. I don't know, we're already at 48 cards. Red team is in fact the worst. I don't mind it that much. We don't have that many run events anymore, right? Like we don't have Bravado, so there's less anti-synergy inherently. Let's convince ourselves that's correct. Telework is also comparable to liberated accounts. It has less money, raw money on it, but the amount of money you get off of it is actually very comparable. This, you get 8 credits off of it. Liberated accounts, you get 10. It's fine. Stone Ship is probably worth playing to some extent if you have spare influence, but I think we want to fix our breaker suite because I think if we have a good breaker suite, we actually can generate credits. So let's look at that. Botulus is probably the best economy card in the whole format, right? It's just our MU gets eaten up really quickly. Okay, so we probably can't do that. I think we would do Botulus over liberated accounts, if anything. Okay, so we want to get the best killers. Like it's either Unity. I'm hoping if we have double Chesva, we can just do Hyperbaric and call it a day. Maybe that's a bit greedy. Twinning is multi-axis. I think like twinning is a bit redundant when you have Wake Implant. Like I feel like it's probably not necessary. I think Fermenter is probably busted good. It's just like at that point we'd cut the tunnel vision. I've been playing Proco my Sable deck and quite liking it. Yeah, that's the thing is like, I think you can reevaluate heavily what works and what doesn't work. And I think Proco is probably fine if the game's slow enough. How do you deal with like, is there a good kill? I don't think there's a good killer in the format. Like, I just don't think there's a good killer. Like, it's Echelon. Like, Revolver can kind of get there, but like, we'll run him out. Red Orb. Yeah, it can be Noom. And it could be Noom if we're also playing Poison Vial, but I don't think we are. But I think Noom Poison Vial is like fine. Again, it's just like you are on a limited tank. Like, there's just not inherent forever recursion. Like, you just don't have Silent Chip anymore. 49 cards. Wow, this is actually tricky. I don't know how to build a good deck. Echelon's been popular. I think Echelon's probably it. It's also only like 1 or 2. I just wrote popular. It's probably not a lot of influence. Yeah, 1. That tracks. So we'll cut one of these out. We'll cut 1 Carmen. There's a chance that Carmen's actually just as good as Echelon. Yeah, probably is. Yeah, I think Fermentor's probably the best. Fermentor's like probably the best econ in Standard, let's be honest. So I would be hard-pressed not to play 2 Fermentor. That means we can... Maybe we'll just cut an Echelon and just play Carmen's unironically. Cat's Cradle Hyperbaric, that's a bit ugly. We have 50 cards, though. We can cut 5 of these, and we might have a deck. Is there anything that sticks out that like is something we should consider and we shouldn't? But we haven't. Like, should we just play a boat? Numb is really sad when they res Tithe. You just let the Tithe fire. That's fine. The Tithe can fire. I feel like we're going to have MU issues, but I don't think we can get around that. Cybernetics. Is there any Cybernetic that we're really excited to play? Prepaid Voice Pad's actually not the worst card here. We're going to play 1 event a turn. Most of our events cost money. Hey, Julian, Deep Dive. Maybe as a 1-up. I feel like 5 influence is so much. 1 Carmen, 1 Revolver. Yeah, I like that. Just so we can show what Revolver looks like. But like, obviously, we're probably going to have to install both, which is a bit ugly. Okay, career fair targets. Let's talk about it. We have 2, 2, 2. So we can probably play 2. Convince ourselves that that makes sense. 2 Wake, 2 Zenith. I think Zenith is, we don't need 2 of them. Admittedly, like, we want Zeniths because we have the Tremolo. But unfortunately, we also have Nuke and Earthrise. Like, we have a lot of card draw. I don't think you can afford Earthrises. I'm hoping to career fair them down, but maybe with Zenith, like, just say Zeniths are Earthrise and call it a day. Right? Like, I feel like we might have too much conflicting stuff. We can cut the Docklands Pass. Maybe the Wake pressure is enough. I'm worried that also we'll just get bullied out of HQ and then we won't have any pressure. Let's see what this draw's like. Opening hand. It's not the worst. We want a Chesva stat. Let's see how bad this career fair is. It's bad for a bit. Opening hand. This is not good. That's good. We'd play this, right? Oh, that's actually really good. So we Dirty Laundry, hopefully our mark. We can career fair down to Liberated. We still have a whole turn, so we probably should have drawn up first. Drop again, hit that. This hand, we probably want to Dirty Laundry our mark next turn, then play the Wake. Hopefully we hit the, I don't know which one we hope to hit. Then we can go from here. That actually is pretty good. Wake has plenty of multi, yeah, but Wake can get shut out. Like if they like do double toll booth on HQ or whatever. Obviously that's kind of ridiculous, but you know what I mean? Okay, we gotta cut at least 1 card. We can argue that playing 46. I want to cut the Tunnel Visions, I'll be honest. 2 careers seems like too many that we cut Earthrises. Yeah, but did you see that opening hand? Yeah, you're right. We only have 4 targets. As much as I career fair down a bounty. Cut Mutual Favor? Yeah, I like that. I like that. Okay, I'm gonna try and play Tunnel Vision as much as we can. Because I want to see how it is. I'm not a big believer in Tunnel Vision. All right, startup, Mark, take 1. Oh, we should just call him Mark 1. That'd be cool, like some cool robot. 2 career fair, 4 targets. I don't think that's a good ratio. Is Femme Fatale too much? Rockman, Femme Fatale is probably too much. Like Femme Fatale is really good if consistently in the meta there's a card that Femme Fatale is actually worth the credit investment. So like if you're seeing Toll Booth in every game, to some extent, if you're seeing like Mess and Chesto consistently, maybe. But like you have access to Botulus and that kind of gets you most of the way there and is a more flexible and cheaper card as much as influence. I think the only way I'd play Femme Fatale is if I was playing something like Spark of Inspiration, maybe Test Run and all that sort of stuff. Concerto, it's probably a bridge pretty far and it's a pretty bespoke deck. Rejig also works and you can play Endurance. So yeah, also just play Endurance, right? If you're really worried about big eyes, play Endurance. Like imagine playing 9 for a Femme Fatale when you play 8 for Endurance. Lost Geek has been unironically red teaming. Yo, we're unironically running a red team. I'm a red team believer. I have always been. I think red team's a bit slept on. I'm okay getting goofed on. Startup Mark 1. Okay, so let's see what it looks like, because apparently this is a bit messed up. Startup. Nusha. Paste. Legality looks okay. I think you want 8-9 targets for career fair, but I don't remember the math behind it. Yeah, I haven't like looked at the hypergeometric, but I'm pretty sure 1 career fair for 4 targets is probably not good. Because like it's at the point where like if you have only 1 career fair in your deck, you're not gonna hold your liberated counts and then draw 2 before you play it. Like you just have to hard commit. I'm pretty sure we could drop the career fair and play like an inside job, or even, I don't know, another no free lunch, and probably be better off for it. I think red team has to be good if you have all your mark effects in Cheswa, but it's an awkward period where you don't. Yeah. I'm excited to see. Startup Runner. Let's see what startup looks like if we play PE again, I swear to God. I think if you improved any single number of red team would be played in every Crim deck. Yeah, the only problem with red team obviously is that it doesn't work with run events. If it did, it would be like super, super busted. But if you have a good reason to make like non-run event runs, like single access runs, which, you know, specifically with Sable makes a lot of sense. I think you're in a good spot. But I think that's the biggest problem is like criminals are not excited to run R&D just to see the top of the deck. Okay, PE. This is, or not PE, PD, excuse me. This is going to be a good match, just good. Info bounty actually works. I'm going to keep this hand. This is actually a pretty good hand. So PD is probably just good. It's probably just like what it's always been. Just good. And we really need our pinhole threading because we cannot deal with the remote server if they put upgrades. Most Corpse Stone Ice archives early enough. Red team Penny Shaver potentially mark effects is good gas. Yeah, I believe it. Red team F4 is still pretty bad. Welcome to Startup, Rangi. A world of possibilities. So Axiom Mulligan and open with Spin Doctor. We generally like that. Now this might mean that they have better options for ice. What ice is lost? Drafter's gone. There's obviously no gatekeeper. Oh wow, we get free mark here. Brr. HQ mark? Okay, the question is, do we play the Waken plan hoping it doesn't hit the dirty laundry? Yeah. Oh, could it be better? Could it be better? It could not be better. I checked. That was the best hit. It can't be better. Ordered lull. No, I'll take 7 credits. Pretty good. Pretty good this game. I don't know what could be on the table. No Tranquility home grid really hurts. Oh, Izzy, that's a huge point. No Tranquility, yeah. Get out of there. I don't know if they pop it for a hedge fund. I'd be surprised if they do. I'll check this. I don't honestly know what this could be. Like a Maryland? Oh, Nico. Yeah, okay. We're very likely to get 2 credits next turn anyways. They look flooded. Yeah, well, if they were super flooded, they would have overdrawn, like not put a Nico on the table. So I think there maybe is one more agenda there, but probably not 2. And if they don't have ice this turn, again, Planogram is probably a really good top deck. They probably won't have ice next turn, so I don't really want to go, but that was obviously a really good turn. Give us mark on R&D. Oh, we could have seen 2 on R&D too. I have to remember, this card's really good. The fact that this is a mark card, but actually works the turn you install it because you already have mark is sick. The card is like fringe playable and maybe some other IDs, but kind of hard. Ooh, get us R&D. Oh, it's HQ. Can we face check HQ? I feel like we can. I feel like if it's a buy raid, we don't care. Yeah, that's fine. Do we click 1 or we click 3? If we click 3, we get a click back and we get an access and we get 2 credits and a wake click. Yeah, we're gonna buy. See you later. To be honest, the best turn 1 play was click 1 wake and plant, not that it matters. Oh, I'd have to think about that. You might be right. We haven't got our 2 credits yet. Yeah, if that's on HQ, that's a problem. All right. 2 of 4 chance to hit a duplicate info rather than 1 in 3. Oh yeah, you're totally right. You're totally right. What did we open with? Yeah, we probably did the open order. We didn't get punished though, right? You saw that. Archives. Okay, so we would still run archives for 2 credits. Let's start to get a card draw because we get Carpe Diem here. So this is where tunnel vision is like really bad. Like we're not tunnel visioning a Brawn. This way obviously is not good. Why not R&D for 3 cards? Because we have to keep drawing through our deck. Like while we could lock the top of R&D, I don't know if it's that necessary right now. It wouldn't have been the worst. But again, yeah, I guess if we could just start locking, but I think we're going to start locking anyways. So what are we gonna do here? We could run server 3. With 5 credits, they can't res a Biroid. So what's the worst that hits us? Like an Enigma? We only have 1 credit, so we can't trash Nico. Maryland's in the format, right? We want to probably get the Chesva down before we access R&D so we can trash stuff, because we're assuming a fair bit of trashables, right? Like we're assuming they're on Anawetic and all that. Let's draw once more. Ravana's in. Oh, that's true. Ravana's in. Ravana would be fine. Like we just end the run on Ravana. It's not that bad. Let's just end the run. Let's draw into like a Carpe Diem. Okay, that's worth getting down. Which was nicer for when your Marcus Archives is something we don't really discuss. Just putting that out there. No, we totally discussed that. But like if we're hammering R&D, like if I lock the top of R&D with a Wake implant, and I know they're not drawing agendas, like, do I really want to pay 4 credits to access HQ? Like, would I sneak door beta on this hand? No. Admittedly, it's better than sneak door beta. But you know what I mean? Like if we're already hammering centrals, the additional accesses kind of fall off. Here we'll lock. Magnet. Vitruvius. Another Managram. Okay, we got 1 credit on here. Not great. All right, just a Nico. So we definitely want to contest that as long as we have 2 credits to trash it. They just drew into a Magnet. They just drew into a Managarm. That's probably a Magnet. I'll be okay with them resing after 3. R&D is the mark. It's a new card. Let's go. Again, 4 credits to break the Magnet. That's fine. Okay, order there was a bit bad. This hand is really ugly. Like, this is not good. Oh, Sneak Door doesn't work with Archives Mark. That's totally true. This is really ugly. Oh, man, that's bad. So we don't click for credit if we can Penny Shaver. We can throw this out pretty easily. I think we get our Tunnel Vision down. But, like, I don't want to go down to 0. They're getting Nico money, which seems like a huge mistake. But we kind of missed our window to contest that. So we don't want to show that we have the Tunnel Vision. We can obviously throw this out. Yeah, I think we need Penny Shaver so badly. Like, you see our economy. I feel like we just don't have enough economy cards per card in our deck. Like, our money is just not good enough. Now, ideally, if we're running, like, cheap enough with Chesva, but, like, Breaking Magnet's 4 credits with Tunnel Vision. It's only 3 with Cat's Cradle. And eventually it's 1 if we get down to Hyperbaric. Second Ice, okay. We know they have a Managarm. That's probably what that is. So they probably have 1 agenda in HQ. They drew an unknown card. Let's get an Archives Mark. HQ. I think actually we go for the HQ mark. I think we would triple click. If we had the Pen Weave down, it'd be a bit spicier too. But like, we know they have the Magnet here. We know they have the Managarm here. So I think there's a big chance there's a 1 and 3 on agenda, and I'll take those odds. Especially because it gives us 2 credits and a click back. And the Penny Shaver credit. And really, this is pretty expensive. Would sneaking in a Fermenter help economy? Yeah, Rockman, I think we have 2 Fermenters. Yeah, there you go. That makes sense. Wrong game point. Here, if we do the Penny Shaver, we suffer meat damage. That's fine. I don't think anything that we hit that's really, really bad. And interestingly enough, we'll be on 2 Cybernetics in just a second, as the Neat Chip would make this HQ run so easy. And that means that we break this thing for like 5 credits. Let's put this down. Let's scare him. We hit a Tunnel Vision. Perfect. You can be civically be called no, it's an HQ, it's a risk. I don't want to take the risk. Admittedly, if they install an ice there and res it, like they have less things they're defending. Oh, the Nico finished that turn, so they drew 2. But now if they want to jam out on the Managarm, which again, we're in no way contesting, we're just trying to cheese off central servers. So we need to get like an R&D mark and get the Tunnel Vision down. That's good. That's fine. Okay, now we just want to force their credits out. Should we be playing Tread Lightly in the format? Honestly, maybe. Tread Lightly is like a rude enough card, and maybe this format is slow enough. Archives Mark is nice. The question is whether we want to draw up first. We could draw a top deck. We have 2 Dirty Laundries. We have 3 Carpe Diem. Those would all be very good top decks. But we have no way to like tempo positive check the server. Like we don't have Bravado anymore. I think they can score a 1 agenda with Seamless. Will be okay. Let's draw for a Carpe. Credit. Red Team Archives. Now if they score out, at least we're forking them. Oh man, I would love a career fair for this thing. Oh no, if we credit, we can't use it. I thought it through. I still think we credit. Oh no, we run Archives and then we just do credit. You can Penny Shaver? Oh yeah, you're right. But that's awkward because we're Penny Shavering. Nah, you're right. Whatever, we'll still do it. That's good. It's 5 credits. It's clicklessly. Seems nice. That's some pressure. I think we want to put the Tunnel Vision down here because now we're actually contesting. Like if our mark is on R&D, we go for it. We can see 2 cards, get Penny Shaver, get the red team. This seems fine. Like if they score out here and do nothing else. Ah, shit. Imagine they did nothing else. There's no more sandbox in the format. That's actually really good also for on Botulus. But yeah, hedge fund. They returned a hedge fund, which they just played. They have 2 clicks left. They need ice for R&D. Because we'll pay for. Or they could just try and jam out. That works too. Oh, that's scary. Archives mark. Okay, that's fine. That's actually good. So if we archives mark, can we run this? Again, the dog in no way does anything on this board, the pack of dogs. If we run here, they're expecting to pay about 3 credits to keep us out. Enigma would be annoying. If we draw, we can't play run event with red team, which is pretty silly, but we might want to just lock the top of R&D. Now this looks like it could be a 5-3, but they didn't seamless launch here. I'm not sure if they didn't have it or they just wanted to hedge fund as well. I think seamless is probably a bit better in some ways. All right, so we can't break R&D. We have to draw. Oh, that changes a bit. As long as we can contest the remote server, we can deal with the Managarm. All right, let's just go archives here. Hopefully this is a tempo negative agenda. Now that doesn't work with the archives marked because red team is, you have to click it. So it doesn't seem that bad. Dawkins Pass, again, I feel like we might have a bit too much on HQ pressure. If we get locked out by like just 2 ice again, like we're just struggling to get breakers. Maybe we need the other mutual favor. Chesva is like unlikely to matter. It's just like 2 out of 3 times it's not a good install here. I'm just going to draw and throw out the Docklands because I think if they have an agenda, it would go straight into server 3. So HQ pressure for multi-axis doesn't actually matter. Carpe Diem is actually better than red team if we get archives mark. No, it's not. It's just 7 credits. That's fine. All right, so we really need the mark on archives so the tunnel vision could do something. They also haven't played a seamless yet. 17 credits. They returned another hedge fund. God dang it. Tempo negative? Yeah. Gain 7. Like, we're just struggling to get into R&D. All right, is this better? No. Might as well empty this while we can. Man, a Zenith would be so good. Are we on 2 Zeniths? Because a Zenith is exactly what we need. Like, a Zenith would tie this engine so much better together. Yeah, we're on 2 Zeniths. Okay, 4 clicks left. If we can get breakers, we actually can contest the remote server. That doesn't matter. Oh, man. Oh, man. And HQ is not worth running, right? Because they're going to jam the remote server. So, like, our triple archives mark is, as much as it's been credits, it's not been particularly good. So we can throw out 1 card. We can install 1 card. We can draw 1 more. Career Fair and no target. It's the one of Career Fair in the list. The same on the GLC channel with multi-target for mark. It seems like it's always the same server, you know, 3, 4 in archives in a row. It wouldn't be that bad if we also can threaten server 3, but like currently with tunnel vision, all we're doing is hoping our mark is good. And like, I think if you're using tunnel vision, that's a better reason to run Virtuoso. But even if we were Virtuoso, I don't think they have agendas in hand. So it's not that good. I think we just get a Dirty Laundry. Hey, Kalana, how's it going? Yeah, we said we do startup today. This is our first game in this year. We're having some issues, but I think that's kind of on us. I don't want to show that we have the tremolo. If they guys have archives, we're in an awkward spot. Career Fair is unlikely to matter. They still might. Are there any 5-3s in the format? There's no 5-3s besides send a message, right? Pinhole Managarm, we could do it. I kind of don't want to show that we have it because they might go install advanced events this turn. And then in some world, we could like pinhole install a tremolo and inside job, right? Like there's some chance that they feel secure on this. Like just pinholing the Managarm and doing nothing else feels a bit rough. All right, that's not necessarily an agenda. They have 1 more Vitruvius. We haven't seen a seamless yet, but at this point in the game, you'd assume they have it. Any sentries? Vulnerability audit isn't in it. I think Maxwell had rotated. I think send a message the only 5-3. I might be wrong about that. But like Bologna rotated, Vacheron rotated. I'm pretty sure vulnerability audit was Ashes. It's a weird JNet loop somewhere that's blocked sometimes for 3 to 4 times the same server. Hey, we got the R&D mark. They did ice it up. But hey, maybe we install Chesva and go. That seems like a plan. Oh, actually, we should do this because we get the credits up front. So we can see 2 cards here. It's an Eli. We did not install a Tremolo. Tremolo Eli's for 3 credits. That's actually really good. But we're going to dog through it. Are we going to click through it? No, we have money. All right, this only costs 8 credits to run through 2 ice. I think that's reasonable. Go, dog, go. It's true random as far as I know. Hey, Frank. Let's see 2 cards. Anoetic, we don't want them to draw that. A third Skunkworks, while they can't really put 2 in a server in a meaningful way, it does play around Pinhole. Are we going to go back this turn? I don't think so. So I'd rather them draw that than an agenda, I reckon. We can always go Archives. Again, we just want to get a breaker on the table. Dirty Laundry. Ooh, that's not good. We could play the Tremolo here. We also don't have to show it. I think we just get the money up. Again, probably not. We probably should just keep drawing. We didn't have a problem, Maxwell. Jaina was pretty good for us when we put the deck in. It had no issues. I'm not sure. Very often with few mark targets. That's why I started to question it, because I played Sable with the info bounty tunnel vision. Oh, it is seamless. Okay. So it was a Vitruvius, never advanced. They didn't top deck the seamless. They had it. Now 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's only 18 agenda points. So there's only like 3 more agendas, or maybe even 2 agendas left in the deck. Probably 3. I'm assuming there's another off-world and something else. They added the seamless back, so anything they put in server 3 we have to run. Now we know they have the Managarm. So while this could be this could be it. This could also just be double Managarm. Archives run. Okay, so we can pinhole Archives, hit server 3, then we have to start drawing until we hit an inside job, and we can get there. Yeah, I think another mutual favor would actually be totally good. Oh, bifurcation as well. I do think we just need more mutual favors because we had so many triggers to turn mutual favor on. Like mutual favor works with our engine. Should we check the new card or the Managarm? I reckon we should check the Managarm. That we know it's a Managarm. It's real in life getting through. Oh, they threatens the Spin Doctor. Oh, sick. That's cool. So they drew unknown cards. That's a really cool interaction that we got that on the side. So Planogram and a Spin Doctor coming back. So we trash this. We get the Chesva credits to do this with, which is cute. Again, we can't run R&D this turn. So now the remote server is down, and unless they have a Biotic Labor and they top deck into... Oh, they can't Biotic Labor out anything. We have a couple more clicks to set up to break the remote server. There's a Zenith chip. That's a bit too little too late here. We have to install our Tremolo. Fermentor's a very too little too late. Where was our career fair? Where did our career fair go? Did we throw out our career fair? I think we did. Feels bad. All right, they drew. Again, they do 4 cards between the last turn and this turn. Yeah, we did discard it. Yeah, I noticed. Hindsight, huh? But we didn't have a lot of good targets. Actually, we've drawn into none of our liberated counts, which right now would actually be pretty bad draws until we stabilize with breakers. Like, we can click this for 7 credits. I don't think we're going to put down all liberated counts. But again, I don't know why they have in our iced up archives. Like, just a single ice in archives is such a roadblock for our game plan. HQ ice is super surprising. Do they just not think they can push out? Because, like, that's the 3rd Managarm. We just need an R&D mark. That's cool, too, I guess. All right, well, that's really bad. We'll draw. There we go. Okay, so with this... With this, I thought we'd have like a... I feel like the right play here might be... Archives team with red team isn't bad. No, it's not. I was thinking of Dirty Laundering, but you're right, we should do it. They maybe drew Bifurcation. Oh, shit, you're right. I think that has to be it. They had to have drawn Bifurcation. Oh, that we should have planned our turn around it. I'm so not used to HB, like playing a 2-1 in a non-sports metal deck. But yeah, you're right. They definitely have the Bifurcation in hand. So we have to get an access off R&D to have a chance of winning. And even then, it's very unlikely again. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, sorry. Wow, that's 12 points. If they assume 13 in hand, so they have 14 and then maybe 3 more agendas. So it's like 3 and 18, 1 and 6. And less than that, I think. No, that's if they have the Bifurcation. So this might be our last turn. So we can always mutual favor. Get down at our decoder. Here would be fine with what's it called? With a Cat's Cradle. So if we do that, we install it. Then we just make a run. I'm assuming you have enough credits. Run archives first. You might as well, right? Because it saves a click on the install. Yeah, you might as well. Do we red team it? Oh man, imagine our mark was any of these two. It actually buys us a huge difference in this turn. Can we Zenith chip? No, because we hit the mutual favor. We're in a bad spot. I'd rather Dirty Laundry, I think. I'll start my own investigation on this mark that's implemented because sometimes the archetype repetitions are really weird. I've no doubt Staniak it's totally random. There's no reason JNet would not make it fully random. Well, it depends. Did you donate? Maybe you didn't donate to JNet. And now we can go here. But like if this whiffs, we lose. Okay. This is cheaper, right? Yeah, that's actually good. That's like paperclip good. So if you get this far, like I think Tremolo is actually really reasonable. And like we could install the Zenit in some other ordering. Single axis. Uh-oh, they're typing. Nah. GG. Yeah, there you go. All right, we're just a bit too slow. If we had access to our breakers, we had the pressure. So we just got to make some changes to the deck because we were just drawing all their like run-based stuff instead of this stuff. Yeah, I don't like it at all. I'd rather just get breakers. Yeah, I do think they should have iced up archives if they could. But yeah, no, I like this is exactly what I was fearing was going to happen with Tunnel Vision. Admittedly, like a Virtuoso deck can kind of iron it out, but like that's exactly I think a really good part. No, I'm gonna cut the Tunnel Visions to put Mutual and Career Fair back in. Is that like in that matchup they had the remote server secure because we pressure centrals pretty heavily, so that like we don't pressure the remote server. Also because we were bad at producing breakers. So even if Virtuoso had targets in HQ, they wouldn't stay in HQ for very long. So while I think it maybe is a different deck, I don't know that. Yeah. Hey, cheers. Humans are bad at pattern recognition. Classically, yeah. I like the Apple guy said they had to stop the iTunes shuffle from being actually random because people kept complaining it wasn't random enough. What did they change it to? Probably drop Tunnel Visions from Earthrise and more mutual favors. Something like that, I think. Again, sample size is really small, but here's what I'm thinking. I think we play another mutual favor. I think we cut all the good boys and girls, unfortunately. Bye. And then we can play either a career fair. I'm pretty sure Liberated at some point might get cut. Maybe it's another career fair. Earthrise Hotel, I don't think we were able to afford until we're set up, which is unfortunate. Man, opening with no info bounty seems so important, right? Like, I think opening with info bounty, is there some argument to play 3 of these? Probably not. I think inside job would be good too, but we had 2. We were likely to draw one by that point. I'm going to try another career fair and regret it. -1 Liberated, +1 Nuka. Nuka seemed nice. We haven't drawn a Liberated. Maybe with more career fairs, I feel a bit better. But I feel like it's a bit too early to tell. I just think the Tunnel Vision, like, very clearly doesn't. Not for me. That was a good matchup. Like, that's a matchup that I don't know if I'd say we were favored in, but seemed like a totally fair matchup. Yo, Matt, how's it going? You doing startup? Yeah, first time this year. I've just been doing a whole bunch of that for my channel. Someone who's played standard, surprising how much fun limited format is. Oh, cheers. Yeah, limited format, like, that means a lot to a lot of different people. More so am I, like, the thing that I'm worried about startup so far, again, just trying it, we're going to figure out it's the thing, is like, there's not that many options. Like, there literally isn't that many options. You look at a criminal list, like, most criminal lists are going to be very similar. Now that's fine probably for a very small format. Oh, I forgot to hit standard. I forgot to hit startup. This is a standard game. Oh, oops. I'm not gonna say anything. Best of luck. Fun. Let's see how our startup deck does in standard. Oh, we're such in a bad spot. Scrubber can be very good as a tech option. Yeah, Scrubber's not bad. Scrubber's an update. Yeah, Scrubber's not bad. I'm hoping to chest off centrals, but yeah, okay, we're going to try and get through this game pretty quickly because we did not hit the standard button. We're not going to tell our opponent because obviously that would be disadvantageous, but that's an economy start. Maybe we'll just rip some good 5-3s and while we struggle to interact with SDS turn deployment or something. Games often do stateful rarities where it reduces the chances of not seeing one thing for a very long time or seeing the same thing back to back many times, kind of like a weighted table. Yeah, from my understanding, there's a lot of games that do crit chance like that, right? Like the longer you go without hitting a crit, your crit chance just goes up because, ooh, draw last, because inherently it feels bad. Just run R&D. Let's go. Trebuchet can't hurt us. Hordem can hurt us. I mean, Mouseless can hurt us. But they only have 5 credits. There's actually like shockingly few ice that they can res. Filter an NRDB and play Trash or Busto between 3 or 4 cards for each slot. Exactly, like Sophie, Trash or Busto can make you a startup deck. Like no joke, and it'd probably be okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. But like, you're not going to get the massive creativity that comes with a big card pool, but that's fine. Oh, that's fine. That's totally fine. This is cool too, because we have no like big dig run. Like, with 2 credits, they can't res anything on HQ. We're expecting after R3. But like, now we can hit HQ. Am I comfortable enough to dirty laundry HQ? I'm going to put down Chesva though, because we can't die to snare here, and like this could let us trash things, let alone we could trash this to SDS drone deployment and probably won't die to punitive unless they have too big to fail. Also really enjoy start of 1500 games here. Don't change your standard. Half run. Ah, that's fine. Okay, cool. Now we don't need mutual favor. We just have to figure out whatever breaks this cheaper. Well, they're on 0 credits, so it's too big to fail or bust. I've seen very little half run. In startup, I think you'd see it a bit more, but I'm not a big believer in this card. Like, they just rezzed barrier code gate, so your choice how you want to break it, and that's a huge liability. Especially when we only had 1 mutual favor. But they're on 0 credits, so they really need to hear too big to fail, which will be 10 credits in a bad pub, which obviously is pretty good. You seen all the Keeling decks? I think in the Keeling decks, it does make some sense. And in Ag Infusion, like the bar is really low for what you can play, right? Because any face down ice is like totally reasonable. But here, like if we just rip a Tremolo, Archives, oh, that's good. Let's draw up. Let's draw up. Do we nuke and hit it now? So I guess we have to start here. They have an under the bus. We have literally no connections. Because I don't think we have any connections. There are very frighteningly few connections in the format, which sucks because I guess Pollock's Cafe rotated. Has some combo potential in op. Yeah, I've heard of the op combo with op like Stavka to get that unbreakable thing. And I think that is kind of sick. Don't get twisted. No, I hear you. Like as much as that is like criticism, I'm excited. I'm here. Oh, you want to get that in there? Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I think they wanted to ice that up. You're right. I didn't realize she was a connection. At least I meant like a permanent connection. You can just drag it to hand and give yourself clicks. Might be faster. If not, I'll undo my click. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But like I was thinking of cards that are permanent. Like if they trash a Nuka to under the bus, like whatever. But you're right. But it's not like there's Beth or like Proco or stuff that you want to play. There is Proco in the format. You know what I mean. Alec, how's it going? Evening. How's the little one? 1 target for Mark and 2 different targets. Let's see how they change after install some info bounty. You think it's going to just hit Archives real hard? Oh, you have to give yourself a click. Well, I'll just undo it. I'll just undo it. Yeah, okay. Do it up. There we go. I think they have 1 too many clicks, though. Oh, that's perfect. Nice. Tough night with her. Aye, but good otherwise. She's starting to walk. Whoa! How fast? Like, fast enough you turn around and you think she's going to be gone? Like, that's kind of terrifying. HQ mark? Okay, we just got to find a breaker. Maybe 3x mutual. Oh, no. Whoops. Don't do that. That's not it. Let's see what this is. If they protect this, like if they go into no credits, there's nothing like Rashida. Oh, we're in standard. There is Rashida. We could pinhole thread it. I don't know. You can't turn around. Oh, man. Hey, it was Rashida the whole time. So this is to be 4 credits, like Horda, Mouseless, Border Control. It could be Trebuchet or any of the other expensive stuff. This might be a homebrew deck because you don't see under the bus and half run a lot in outfits. So like it's going to be a bit harder to get like a read based off of like a archetype that might be known. A revolver is actually kind of cute. It deals with Trebuchet relatively well. 4 credits is good enough, right? HQ mark. Let's draw up once. Oh, we can do that. I just don't want to do the last click. Oh, we have to discard a card here? I did not plan the turn out. I thought we'd get a click back. I think we install the Liberated. This seems like it's going slow enough that it's acceptable. Honestly, like the Pan Weave, it's really hard and wild to think that we can credit denial out what's it called, an outfit, but maybe we can. Did we give startup already? Yo, Sangren, I started up a lobby and I forgot to mark it as startup. So no, we're still playing startup technically. This is a pretty bad look, I'll be honest, but can you install the Pan Weave and not have to discard? Oh, that's a good point. Actually, we could have, but if we lost the mutual favor, we'd be pretty bad. Okay, I'm glad we threw that. They just hit a too big to fail. So now we have bad pub. So the question is, which breaker deals with this the easiest? We're also at the point where we have to be scared of Trebuchet, so we can no longer face check unless we put the stuff down. R&D is the mark. I guess we're gonna go get our Tremolo. So let's go get our Tremolo. We've been drawing with a nuke on the table. Are we okay? Is everything okay? Okay. Oh, it's gonna cost 3 credits. That's bad pub. All your breakers are good with all the bad pub. How do we get a good run here? So we could Dr. Nuka into a Carpe Diem, or we'd have to hit something. You need to visit the doctor. Yeah, let's visit the doctor. All right, that sucks. No free lunch is honestly worth playing to some extent. Some of us still with 0-7x. I know, and we threw out one of them, which is the singleton. We've been like pretty hard to find a Zenit so far. This is free, considering coffee and bad pub, which is nice. It's a good spot to be in. Okay, I'm worried if... Oh, we have a click back. Never mind. Oh, man, we're so good at this. Okay, we're risking hard news. It's the second Rashida. Okay, so they drew into the government subsidy. If they play the subsidy here and go from 16 to 21, like, cool. I don't think that matters. I think icing up centrals matters. If they're on, like, I don't know, punitive, yeah, then it starts to matter. And admittedly, we're going to interact with punitive, but like we have standard startup economy. We don't have standard economy. We're just trying to pay fast, so we can get back to playing startup. So sorry. So how much did we break half run for? 5 credits. It'll get cheaper. Card and server 1. We just inside job that if they don't respect the double A's, because that's probably an agenda at this point. We've seen 2 Rashidas. Maybe it's a borehole. I don't know. But we have to start inside jobbing. But we want an R&D and archives mark here, I reckon. Server 3. Okay. HQ mark. Okay, so how much does this cost? They probably have agendas in there, right? Like they've installed, but could be Zato. Oh, that's true. Inside job Zato is actually pretty bad, but at least they destroy their server. I think we're okay with that. I think we're okay with that. I'm not sure how much popularity Zato is actually hit. Okay, so if we run here, we have to boost and break. So that's 2, 3, 5. So it's 2 real credits. Do we have time to put down the penny shaver? Not really. Let's start here so that if we can trash, we can. Losing Liberator while it's full would be rough. Yeah, it'd be pretty bad. So we're going to try and hit it a bit. So the half run is barrier and code gate. It's 5. Yikes. So we do save 3. So that's only 2. Yeah, that tracks. They don't have bad pub, so that's good. We probably won't get punitive off this, so we can rest a bit easy. I do think server 1 has a chance of being the borehole. I think we can hit this once and then go check. If they inside job, or sorry, they border control us, we can always go back. I don't know if we have time for the penny shaver here. Okay. It's good to know. I don't know what that is. Do we check last click? If it's a snare, we could lose. That's a fair bit of influence, but that means they're on fast events, so Audacity. So if it's a spin doctor, we want to threaten it so they can't just Audacity this hand. So we'll check it. I think it's a spin doctor, or like, I don't know what else. We have bad pub. Yeah, it's a spin doctor. So I'm glad we pressured that before they could just Audacity out with impunity. Unfortunately that we ran that first so they could shuffle the Sansan back in, but they did government subsidy Rashida. I don't know why they want government subsidy. They already have 21 credits. Admittedly, Sansan's expensive, but like 21 credits. Well, this is a win condition, right? Like this seems like the card that you want to put back. It's expensive for us to trash. We're weak to Wake Up Call, but I don't think Wake Up Call can target anything besides the Liberated. That's fine. Ish. All right, we need to really find our Wake implant quick. Not only for the tremolo reduction, but because we need to generate multi-axis, and that's the only multi-axis card we have. How's Steve in startup? I reckon Steve is actually pretty good, because event economy seems much more important in this format. Install advanced advance hostile? Hostile? If they end turn, I don't know how to interact with this. Could be an STS. They might know that we can't run this. We're only on 2 inside job. I wish we're on 3. Oh man, if that's an STS, we're in an ugly spot. At least we have another tremolo somewhere in the list. HQ is the mark. We're risking Sapper in this format. I do think here we have time to pennies have. If they end, just install gun and run. We're weak to what's it called? To Tithonium, and we're weak to what's it called as well. Oh no, we can always trash to Bulwark, but you're right, actually. That's probably a plan. I just don't think we have the credits for it. That might be just be a huge atlas. That's the one we're looking at. So if we install this, we just don't have enough credits. Yeah, I think if I thought of that plan that we had the revolver, we should have just gone. We'll see. If they scored an SDS, it's ugly. Could this be a Drago? Yeah. Query for down and no free lunch? Are we worse about losing our breaker or fermenter? I think we're worse about losing our fermenter. We have other ways to make credits in this deck. I'm going to play this to respect some tag stuff. But yeah, maybe a revolver and run would be good enough. As long as we just need to generate more credits. We probably can't be paying that much for this. Show me an SDS. Yeah, there you go. Bummer. That's okay. Again, that's another problem with half run is like now also we could find our decoder. Event, Econ, Red Orb, and Pennies have. Yeah, our economy seems okay now. Okay, we need another mutual favor. We need to get card draw. Archives is the mark. That's fine. That's clickless value. I hope it doesn't hit our gun. I don't have anything to say for myself on that one. I feel like that one might have been me. Zenith, I guess. So we see Tithonium. We see a Zato. That's annoying. We have our Wake as well. So our Tremolo is getting better. Tremolo gains the ability even when it's in the heap, right? Okay, we have Decoder, so we can get into HQ cheaply next turn. We want to draw into an inside job, or also in this format, we'd have Boomerang. Discard down to 4 cards. You really going to be like that? It's always the Breaker. Yeah, Breaker is not a good hit. We haven't seen a single Trebuchet. They're at 20 credits. I don't know why they need this much money. Like, even their most expensive stuff, like, you know, Trebuchet there is for 4, Bulwark there is for 7. We've seen this play pattern before. HQ is the mark. I think we just still do Cast Cradle, or we just run HQ. Big deal? Yeah, it could be a big deal. I think big deal would make sense. I think that's something we should respect. All right, we have to get this down. I'm going to crack the Fermenter. Immediately we can crack no free lunch Penny Shaver, but yeah, I don't know if they have an agenda in HQ. I'd be really surprised. So I think we're going to put down the Wake first. Hate to see that. We get a click back here. So this is free. Surprised we haven't seen more ice, but the fact that we lost our one easy way to deal with. Oh, order here matters. Well, no, order doesn't matter. Blockchain. Well, okay, now I want my Tremolo back. So I always run snares in all my decks. Yeah, you can do it. We just need to find breakers. They're on 2-pointers. Yeah, we saw Sansan. So it's a last turn Spin Doctor. It's a really strange pattern, right? Like they're getting potentially bad value from this if we run it. Because while they res it, they draw 2, then we can run HQ. So if we were like smart enough to do that order, they're just kind of opening up for us. I don't know. I'm not sure I like Spin Doctor just on the table. Maybe it's not the worst. Maybe it means you're comfortable with HQ. Advance. Okay, so we have to get into that. If another SDS goes off, we're like really, really in a bad spot. So this has to be a Sentry or anything else. Or a Barrier. Those are the options. Archives the mark. I'm going to start by running Archives. We'll Carpe Diem Archives. It draws a card. We need a mutual favor. Oh, man, remember when we added more career fairs and not as many mutual favors as we could get? Inside job would be sick. Nuka is slightly better than clicking for credits. No, that's bad. We're going to lose another breaker here. We're just going to be losing breakers. They Spin Doctor and then score out. I'm going to run HQ. It's really important that we continue our pressure. This is free. But they're going to be on game point. Like they just score a 2. Like the fact that they're scoring out behind a single ice is like such a difference where we don't have Boomerang or even Bravado the face check to some extent, but just better breakers. Okay, that's a Bulwark. Got to discard 1 here. We're going to throw out the Wake. Oh, discard 2 out here. Right. Hitting the Spin Doctor here. Just 2 hedge funds in. I don't know. Yeah, maybe they're on big deal. Hate to see it. That's fine. There's simul-chip in this format, right? Okay, Archives of the mark. We can start there. We might as well Nuka. All right. You're ready to lose a hyperbaric. There's only so many SDSs they have. Here we have to put immense pressure on, right? Because they're just going to be able to score out from hand with the hostiles. I'm so surprised too. Their agenda suite is just like all sorts of wild. Okay. So we'll put down the hyperbaric. Or run archives. We have no way to run. Yeah, we're gonna charge it with the Chesva for sure, but it kind of doesn't change much because if we run HQ, we'd charge it anyways. Because we have to run HQ this turn. Oh, they're saying inside job. That helps. Summonship is in the format they're playing. I know. Yeah. Paul, how's it going? It's not in our format, unfortunately. Okay, how do we get a value run here? I do think we actually could consider. Oh, we already ran. We probably should have career fared down the info bounty, funny enough. How's this deck going to deal with endurance? This deck is probably not going to. Oh, wow. Super deep borrow. But that's, I don't think it's a super competitive deck. But yeah, that's always a problem. We have to go HQ here. It's going to cost us 3 credits. Again, it's only 2 at bad pub. And then we cannot even run HQ. We could consider inside jobbing HQ, or sorry, R&D, and they could like fire it. But we have to just lock at all times. Again, you see the downside of this ice. Like it's just giving us so many options, especially with an SDS deck. I don't know. Rashida, do we trash that? Yeah. We can go back. It's free. That's nice. Okay. Gotta discard some stuff. It's gonna be too slow for this. Too slow for fermenter. One more? Really? Let's get rid of that. It could be on Zata though. Toshin Boomerang is really tough. It's not that bad. Like I reckon in startup it's a bit easier, but like there's really mean ice we can't face check into in this format. Trebuchet rotate, right? Don't give me a hostile. Ah, shit. All right, GG. May as well have trash career fair. Nah, career fair lets us get the info bounty down, and that was actually a playable card next turn. I missed. I brought a startup deck in. My kingdom for a boomerang, huh? Yeah, scoring out behind a single ice is not a play pattern you see generally in standard, let alone even startup. So I'm surprised that worked out so much. Yeah. Remote is what's it called? Bulwark or Trebuchet? Probably should just charge the remote at some point. Yeah, we brought a gun to a boomerang fight and we lost it. Trebuchet. Nice. Yeah. We probably should have gone. If we thought we were going to lose, we can always just go through Trebuchet. Like you saw the play pattern in the earlier game this tonight, if you're watching for a bit. It was just like paying through the trace. Admittedly, it's a problem with like Penny Shaver, let alone Wake and Plant. I don't know. There's a chance that the right play there actually wasn't hit HQ, but it was to inside job R&D. And then if they pop the border control, go again and then flush the top 3 of R&D. I don't know if they had it or they drew it. I know it's all good. Thanks for the game. Yeah, so maybe that was right. I don't know if they had it in their hand or not. Maybe we got unlucky, but we probably had a better line, which was like, we've already seen a couple cards from HQ, so probably just lock the top 2 of R&D, and then if they don't have it, like they probably won't have it for a couple turns. So I don't think we played that optimally. I still think we might want to play more mutual favors. Zato Trebuchet would work. To trash stuff, yeah. It's really hard. We had 2 pinholes that we threw at though. So if we saw an upgrade, we could maybe guess because they always have to advance the SDSs, so we can kind of play around that. But yeah, Zato seems good. We saw Zato in the other list we saw too, but we didn't see anybody res it. Because if they Zato their remote server, admittedly, they don't have a remote server. More mutuals. Let's try one more before we do it. But yeah, it's been a struggle. Oh, this is not good. So Near Earth Hub, hey. This is also like a deck they can definitely tech into a bit more. Like we're not playing Scrubber. Admittedly, they probably don't ice up centrals as heavily as they could, but now they actually have win conditions with mutually assured destruction, with leaving a Drago on the table. There's ways that they actually can kill us from board states we might not be expecting. So we're going to try and keep always 4 cards in hand at a minimum, and we don't have to worry about drafters. So that's good. It's a great opener versus NEH. Is it? Liberate's probably too slow. Mutual Favor's probably not the most necessary. Inside Job's useless. I don't even know if this is a good hand. Like what part of the if we had what's it called? Info Bounty, which I'm thinking we might want to play 3 Info Bounty. Trash everything they install? Yeah, if we Crypt Liberated, we could consider doing that. No, we Carpe Diem. Yeah, maybe you're right about that. But like these 2 cards aren't good. It's just that we have this combination, which doesn't show up that often. Yeah, we'll keep that. I wonder if we're going to see the new NBN. I forget the name of the NBN card I haven't seen yet. Oh, Vera. I wonder if Vera is playable. The NBN agenda suite also has radically changed, right? Because there's no more Bologna, so they're probably running more agendas than you're used to, which is kind of cool. All right, Mark support. Mark, Ice HQ. Okay, so we're gonna inside job something, huh? Oh, HQ Mark, love it. Let's go. Planogram, no surprise. Okay, so here we can just inside job server 1. We'll probably have 6 credits. We can also like career fair liberated. This could be a ping. Mutual favor for the one ice they likely have for a few turns. Well, here it could equally be an enigma, a white space, wrap around, a ping. So it's like a 50-50 between barrier and code gate. So I think we just inside job it. I just don't know what they're protecting on turn 1. Like, is there a 3? There's no important agenda. If they check to force the res, yeah, that's probably fine. And then we can just run back. If it's a ping, it's a bit annoying because I'd want to do this. If it's an enigma, it's annoying, but at least we have 4 clicks still. Yeah, it's a ping. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. So we can access with the tag. So we can mutual favor for, unfortunately, we mutual favor for what's it called? Our breaker costs 6 to get through all of this if we're mutual favoring for a tremolo. So this is where Cleaver's a fair bit better. Honestly, maybe we play Cleaver. Tremolo hasn't been amazing. Yeah, let's just go. I don't know what they're protecting. I don't think there's anything that punishes accessing with a tag. That's worth trashing. So we don't want to float a single tag because we know they have Regolith. We might have wanted to click for credits there because it's hard for us to, we need to get the 3 credits to get a Liberate down and they can still jam next turn. But getting the Regolith down is probably the best. Well, we probably don't want to draw there. As good as Info Bounty does, it's credit neutral the turn is put down. But we need at least a not an R&D mark. Yeah, this sucks. They can drag us through this. R&D is the mark. Hate it. I don't like this. This doesn't feel good. You can career for the Info Bounty? Yeah, if it was anything else, right? We could have considered it, but I think we need, actually, maybe not the worst. Maybe not the worst, considering we need money now, as opposed to more than we need the Liberated. Planogram to draw 3. So this might be a Sand. It's nothing that they're actually using. It also might just be an agenda that they feel like it's safer in there than an HQ. And admittedly, hey, with Tremolo, that's probably the case. I think we might need 3 inside job just because we're so focused at centrals that we need as much support to post a remote server. Upgrade, I don't know, a maze? Archives, okay, we can work with that. The last inside job. Is there any agenda they score out that we're in a really bad spot? If they like score out a, what's it called? We're in an okay spot. Crypto Crash, we're in an okay spot Liberated. I mean, like, I guess. I mean, okay, but like, okay, that's good. I feel like they can score out something here. If they just score a Beal, I think we're okay. Oh, that actually can be a Crypto Crash. That's fine. That's bad. That's worse. Because we can recover with the Crypto Crash. Ugh, R&D mark. So if this is a Serevna, we're in a bad spot. I think we just have to force the res though. We're playing criminal. But if we have to deal with this, like we have to get hard pressure on centrals. Other because we can't deal with this. Man, this feels rough. Like I don't feel like we have a lot of pressure. I feel like we spent too much dealing with this. Okay, damn, we're good. Astrocargo is very strange. Oh no, yeah, they are starting D. We could go back. It's just an axis, and I feel like here we don't want axes. Flushing out HQ is actually kind of nice, but we don't have legwork because we need to stop them from getting 3-2 agendas in the remote server. They seem to be only running probably the Beals. That's the only one you can. So we just need to make sure that we can contest. Tesla actually is kind of nice because it means that there's a lot of trashables in these decks. They didn't res server too. I'm going to hit HQ. We probably can trash something here. We need to keep our money up though if we want to inside job this. Shipment from Bladissa Beers because they're also going to tag us. So that's probably mutually assured, right? Deck feels like it wants jailbreaks. I'd actually be pretty happy with jailbreaks. Yeah, that's a good point. Kind of. Like, sort of. I feel like jailbreaks to some extent is a bit of a nombo with our ability because people ice up centrals a bit heavier than normal. And it doesn't work with red team. We don't get our breakers down. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe we just need to spend influence on like finality or something. But jailbreak's probably not the worst. I think a Dawkins pass would be okay. There's a public trail. Take 8 or a tag. What's the worst that happens if we take a tag? We can't die. Shipment from this to Bursk requires 2 tags, right? Yeah, what happens if we take a single tag here? can't be that bad. With a Retribution and a Chesva, they spend more money to trash the Liberated? Like, this is fine, right? Right? Like, we take a tag here. I'm not paying 8. That's a lot of money. Do you want to pay 6 credits to trash my Liberated? Yeah, you can. They've already played 2 planograms. That would be the word. Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine. Like, actually, I'd be more worried if they trash the info bounty. Value end of the line? Yeah, they could. It clears a tag, though. It's like really, really bad value. All right. HQ is a mark. Love it. We got to clear the tag at some point. All right. It's credit positive. Maybe we should have drawn once. Who knows? Sick. Love it. Do we remove the tag here? I think we do. I think the info bounty is actually worth protecting for sure. Yeah, we survived to end a line. It clears a tag. It empties their hand, but like that's really expensive and it's a big influence use for them too. So I think we'll be happy if they throw out their win condition to do tempo damage, especially because they paid a lot of money for it. All right, archives mark. Nice. We'll start there. Now, wow, they had a Retribution. Surprised they didn't use that, but maybe they want to keep them open. So we have to watch out that they just have public trails. So we need to keep our credits up. Wake and Plan, we need to go HQ. Server 3 is a new card. I don't know what we'd be worried about. Again, they have an iced server. I think here we can actually consider running HQ. I just don't know what ice could be bad. We can deal with white space. I want to get the Wake and Plan. I want to use their Chesva to trash stuff. Pop-up we can deal with. That's fine. We probably just end the run here. Now they only have 2 credits though, so we can probably run R&D. It'd be better if we had like a penny shaver. 3 times archives, so we're actually happy with it. We probably want to contest the Spin Doctor sooner than later. We probably should have done that already. I don't think there's anything on the table that if we don't trash it on the turn, it's a problem, especially with 2 Regoliths out. I think that'd be the closest to that. All right, 2 planograms, so floating a single tag is bad. Let's run R&D, and we got to keep our money up. Server 3 is maybe a Rego. It'd be unlikely. They probably just put out a pad campaign. Another Funhouse. That's a bit rich for them. I'm pretty sure this has to be a pad campaign or like a Maryland. Yeah, Maryland. That makes sense. We'll trash that for sure. But like, we don't have to trash it. There's like very few things that are tempo positive that turn their rezzed. So like, we don't have to spend a click checking it. Admittedly, they could use that to like put out a 3-2 agenda, but they didn't have the credits to do it. So I don't mind. All right, give us any non-HQ mark. Good. Let's start there. We have 11. That's fine. We know they have a Funhouse and an unknown card. Again, they drop pretty heavily. So like HQ pressure is actually kind of valuable. We need sick. Why not? We haven't used our Chesva credits. Okay, good to know. So we also have to watch out for Drago. That's actually something that if we leave on the table, it's a bad spot. It's another Sand Send. That's totally fine. So we'll take this down. They can shuffle it. So we actually can go R&D for a new card. So they don't draw the Retribution. Here, what do? I think we go for a new card. Oh, no, if they res last click, it could be like a Serevnia, and then we take a tag, or even a ping, which they probably would have res by now. So just keep drawing true. This is exactly like I don't know. I feel like there's so many cards we want 3 ofs. Like 3 Info Bounty, 3 Zenith. They seem so important that you get them early. Because we just don't have good card draw. Maybe we just start short on the Earth Rises. All right, we have no idea what they drew into. Besides a Funhouse. It's probably a Funhouse. If there was a Funhouse, we're happy. Archives is the mark. If we start there, we get just money. I don't think we need that right now. If there is a Funhouse and go down to 0, I think we're okay with it. Ping, annoying. Do we inside job this? Like, what would be in here that wouldn't be here? They have 3 credits, so I don't think we do. We can draw once. We can always snow free lunch to clear the tag clicklessly. That's fine. Nah, no, we should keep that for Drago. That actually could be a Drago. That kind of looks like a Drago. I think protecting a Drago seems like their game plan, and that's a card they wouldn't want to do on the Sand Sand. Immediately they install it for the card draw anyways. Let's go. All right, so what's our turn? I don't think we're gonna end up spending more than a lot of credits on here. Because we have the Chesva credits. We want to use these every turn. Toll Booth. Okay, so that's a big ice, but again, they're pretty far away from that. So here we can run archives just for free 2 credits. Why not? Our Wake is kind of stranded behind the Funhouse. This is like the thing that you would, in theory, femme fatale through if you could. Chesva helps a fair bit, but the tag is kind of hard to clear. So we have to clear the tag, and we're just gonna play the no free lunch. So immediately on 3 credits, they can't Drago that aggressively. But if this is the last regolith, we're in a bad spot. Yeah, I have to call it a night. Have a great time on stream. Good luck with Grim. Hey, thank you. Hey, cheers, Ahmed. Thanks for dropping by. Okay, Nico. Probably want to deal with that. I don't think we can afford an inside job for that, especially because we know they have a toll booth. Server 6 is an unknown. Again, they're drawing. At some point, we need to hit HQ. Like, they definitely have agendas in there, and we've seen 1 Beal so far. You can mutual for Tremolo. Oh, yeah, we break for 2. You're right. I forgot. We have that option. We just need to keep the credits down. That's the, we keep our inside job for this, because that's a toll booth. So, R&D is the mark. Let's start there. Here, they can res a funhouse. We know they have a funhouse and it, what's it called? Oh, it is a funhouse. Okay. So that's really hard. That's the best. I think that's one of the most taxing ice in the whole format. And really, we can pay through it if we really need to, but it's like not great for a single. And we don't have anything better than singles. Okay, so we can just like mutual favor down. Yeah, we just mutual favor down a breaker and run server 5. Keep their economy in check. How expensive is this for us? This will save us 8 credits sometimes. Server 5, let's go. So this is what, 4 credits altogether? I built a startup NBN deck and the card pool is so small, it's basically the same deck. Yeah, I think that's going to happen a bit with startup. Like, I don't think you're going to see huge diversity in what the decks are functionally doing. And I don't think that's the awful thing. Like, it's probably going to be a fun format. I just don't know. Yeah, some folks are going to want bigger depth, and that's cool of card pool. All right. He lost a fair bit of money that turn. So did we. Ideally, we hit a nice archives mark. 3rd spin doctor, or 2nd spin doctor, excuse me. Why do we keep seeing these spin doctor plays that nobody res right away? All right, we gotta check some of these. They're only on 1 credit though, so like there's nothing they can res as tempo positive besides the Nico. This is a problem. Pop-up would be annoying. We have an R&D mark. We're marked out. They put all the good ice here, so now we have to play control. Can we run archives? There's not really a point. Like, we just do this. This is rough. You can go Acid Spam with Bladder and Reaper function. Yeah, the one that won Worlds is like, or nearly won Worlds, seems pretty reasonable. They can't res this. That's fine. So if it's a Nico or Maryland, they can't res either of them. Again, they have 17 influence. Even with 1 credit, they can't threaten out the Sand Sand. So next turn, we probably just get an HQ mark and go for it. And just clear the tag. Oh, they have Planogram. That's the best money they can play on 0. They played 2 gambles, Planograms. Yo, Dan, how's it going? Just went to my first in-person meetup. Had a great time. Yo, where you playing at? How'd it go? What'd you bring? In-person meetups are like really popping off modernly. I'm glad you're participating. R&D is a mark. I think we go with the R&D mark. It's just a fair bit cheaper than anything else. I do think we need to get the fermenter down like a long time ago. Also, Architecture feels good in NEH as well. I feel like they just don't have the economy to deal with it. Like if you see this, like imagine we were a Lou, or like imagine we had a single scrubber. Like I don't see how they do any of that. Like you need your opponent to really not respect the board, and we're not even respecting the board. We should probably deal with the Spin Doctor sooner than later. We'll take the tag. We'll pay for it. We'll use this. It's still expensive. Hey, Cactus, swapped out all my Ashes stuff. Surprised how many neutrals I rotated, though. Not a lot of neutrals in Borealis, but that can be good, too. Yeah, there's only like 3 neutral runner cards, if I'm not mistaken. We saw that, too, in deck building. It was like Earthrise. The other... This is a bad single. At least we get 2 cards back. Oh, never mind. Oh, 2 tags? Whoops. Oops, all tags. But yeah, it's interesting. So far, we've seen very few neutral cards. Cambridge. Brought a rough startup, Tau, Botulus deck, and a P deck. Cambridge, Massachusetts, or Cambridge in the UK? Because P has been comfortably at home in Cambridge for a really long time. Got rolled, but it's fun. Hey, that's the point. Like just going out meeting people, seeing how other people play the game. It's some of the best friends in my whole life are from meeting from Netrunner, so can only recommend. That's worth playing, actually. That kind of takes the sting off of it. But like, we're just trying to go for single accesses. We should go HQ next turn if we get the mark on it, because at this point, they definitely have agendas in HQ. They have not been filtering, and they double draw every turn, right? Like it's immense. Red Orb, I feel like on 1 agenda point, we probably don't need to. Maybe we could have. Oh man, now we really go HQ. Probably we flush the Spin Doctor first. Now they're going to overdraw. Yeah, we should have fermented that turn. Server 9, discard cards. Okay, so they're just looking for the 3/2s. Again, there's only 2 more. I forgot that there's headline we had to deal with. Give us a good mark. Archives. Yeah, we'll take that. Pop-up, fantastic. We deal with that with Chesva. I messed that up. That should work. I just took it to my credit pool. I think that's correct. We should be on 6 credits. Yeah. All right, they threw at that card. So we're at the point where they're going to do like biotic into mutually assured destruction. We can lose. So we need to get some accesses. They have 2 1s as well. That's true. They might not be on them. But now we just make one good run HQ and we potentially win. I'm at the point where we consider inside jobbing HQ. What does it save us? Because this is going to cost us 3 credits and then we take a single tag, which we can clear clicklessly. Nah, that's fine. We don't need to respect Bologna credit thresholds. But like they definitely have 2 agendas in here. Paying 3 is akin to taking a click and 2 credits. Oh, shit. They could actually be setting something up on the table. With Seamless, it doesn't really work with Sand Sense. They have to stick something on the table. I think we need to check server 9 in case of shenanigans. I just don't know why they would shenanigans when they can shenanigans in these servers. Oh, it is a hostile. It's a regolith? Oh, it's fine. You can have infinite credits. Draw, remove tag. All right. So we're safe against, what's it called? Public trail. They could double public trail us. And I think if we lose anything, we're fine. We're not actually using our breakers. Chesva's our most valuable card. If you want to tilt, you can just go tag me and build a massive R&D run. No, that's true. We'll probably will do it. We know they have Seamless. We know that this is specifically Toll Booth. Do we check this? Like they might be thinking we can't deal with Toll Booth, but like we can deal with Toll Booth, it turns out. R&D is the mark. How tag me can we go? Shipment. Hostile. I think we can run this. I think this is an agenda, and I don't think they're playing around inside job, but we could be wrong. I think we just dirty laundry like any server. Then we just inside job server 1. And then if that fails and they get to points, yeah, then we always just like Hail Mary R&D. We died a snare here. But Toll Booth we get around. And if they don't raise the Toll Booth, like we get through the ping. That's cool. Saves us money. I feel like when we're building these decks, I just gotta trust my my heart. Oh, GG. Oh, it is a Toll Booth. Yes. So that is the agenda. Again, they probably have 3 agendas in HQ. Again, they have 14 cards left in R&D and there's only 4 agendas out. So like HQ has to be mega flooded. Maybe it's not. Let's see. Probably is. Again, we can always crack this if we need 3 more credits. I don't think there's anything we access that we need credits. There's no Bologna in the format, right? Ah, good game. Hey, good game. Yeah, I don't know. If you keep their money down, they don't have a lot. Like this was expensive, but that was at the point where we left control of the table where this starts to be less relevant. Admittedly, we know they had 2 Sand Sands, but we were lucky that we got 2 of the 3 2s out, which helps a heck of a lot. Otherwise, they could have chained them in. But I do think HQ is pretty flooded. Hey, cheers. Oh, cheers. Thanks for the game. Yeah, but that being said, like this ice is kind of hard to deal with. This is the sort of femme fatale ice that you can get. I'd be interested to know what kind of deck, what kind of punishment they had, because I'm not familiar with what sort of threat that tags have in this format, but there's definitely a lot of options. Hey, Joe. What time is it? 11:30. We can do maybe one more. Let's do one more. Make sure we hit the startup button. We should make changes. Hey, it's L. Hey. How's it going? Ah, shit. That's a good hand. That's good. All right, this hand's like pretty good. We have the economy, we can deal with the board. Like Dirty Laundry helps us check. We've Sure Gamble liberated. The Dawkins Pass is like okay if HQ's open again. They do draw a heck of a lot. Like generally they're drawing 2 cards a turn, mandatory and near hub. So without a daily business show on the table, which is in the format, we hadn't seen it. They do flood up a fair bit, so we want to keep them in check. Again, I don't know how much tag punishment we have to play around. Possible to break into lobby. I was trying 3 times. Get out. There's a bit of a delay on the stream, so you have to like preempt it. It's like 6 seconds off or something. I will keep this hand for sure. Docklands probably should just be another more consistent card and not a card that like, I don't know. I feel like we have too many of these cards that, you know, you need to be able to get in and get in cheaply for them to be good. Maybe that's kind of the point of playing Criminal. Oh, Spin Doctor open. On a keep too. That's draw 3 cards for a click. Ice? Okay, give me that sweet, sweet R&D mark. Okay. Oh, do we start with the R&D mark? We probably start with Dirty Laundry. Sorry, with Sure Gamble. Now, if we run R&D, we generally don't want to trash something. So we probably, like, we could always go Dirty Laundry, run Spin Doctor, then run back. I think that's fine. Okay. You're sniping on JNet. We could try the Spin Doctor. We have enough money that we can go back. Just a 1-pointer. It could be worse. But this probably shuffles agenda back in anyways, so it's probably worth doing because that Archives card is definitely an agenda. There's a DBS. Okay. It's a bit of a bummer. We'll just get the orb down. This, if it's a Nico, it's bad. If it's a Regolith, it's bad. It's just a bad campaign, so it's technically credit negative on this turn. Again, maybe we should put Scrubbers in our deck. I don't know how much NEH or assets you're running into in startup. Those are the questions we have to figure out. So one of these is probably DBS. That's fine. The pad campaign is a nice to trash, but not necessary to trash. It's the sort of thing that you do after Liberated. How many of these do we have to check? Archives mark, not very useful. Okay. DreamNet would be so good against this. We don't have it in the format anymore. HQ definitely has, actually maybe 1 agenda. Because they've drawn 2 since they've mulliganed. The mulligan, they had cards to play. Yeah, I don't know what to check here. Again, they probably can only res 2 cards, but I don't know what we check. I think we just set up. Liberated seems a bit too slow. Mutual Favor finds a breaker. Let's just get our money down so we can just start trashing what's relevant. Again, there could be a 3-2 on the table, but there's no like 3-1 in this format that if you don't get like in standard, like AR enhanced security is a problem. Yeah, Zenith chip is so good. Like that's the thing. Info Bounty and Zenith shit like blow this deck so wide open that I'm considering running 3 of them, even though they're unique. Because like an opening Info Bounty is like the strongest thing you can do. Got some plots done. Hope everyone's ready for his data viz. I'm so there for data viz. Boy, will people roast you if your charts aren't as intuitive as they should be. Ice R&D, they're respecting it. I think most corp decks have expensive assets upgrades to justify Scrubber. Yeah, I believe it. And that kind of sometimes happens like when economies become less consistent with operations, you see like more assets taking their place, and that tracks. All right, we haven't ran for a bit, so 4 or 5. One of them could be a Sansan. I don't expect a Drago. HQ's the mark. Let's go HQ. They've drawn a fair bit. Now, admittedly, we have to deal with this if we want our HQ pressure to matter at all. It's a ping. Thanks, I hate it. I found a Sneak Door beta works pretty well and startup Sable. Yeah, they end up icing up Archives, but I think it's better than Virtuoso. Like a Penny Shaver would be the best opening in this whole matchup. Like we haven't seen a Penny Shaver in both NEH games so far, and that is costing us. All right, we'll move the tag. I think we can afford to check server 6. Again, getting a Tremolo down and breaking ping is really expensive. I feel like Cleaver might work. It's a pad, that's fine. Central only is sometimes really rough. Yeah. Honestly, I think his NA chip is pretty equivalent. I think it's very equivalent. I'm not too worried about core damage. In this matchup, it's a bit better. Or sorry, I think DreamNet's a bit better. But like I'm trying to adjust like my expectations of how much we have to respect the board versus how much we have to pressure centrals. Because like in standard, it can really run away if you don't. And then I'm much more focused on doing that than like poking centrals. So we're trying to get the middle point. How do you get good in Netrunner? Can I grind up to level up? What's the deal? It's a lot of there's an academy. They're pretty snobby. But like if you were there like 2017, you could sneak in. I still think some people will get there. None of that made sense. Server 7, Server 8, Mark is on R&D. Let's force an issue. The issue. My process, play the best decks. So no joke, play the best decks is super important. One of the best things you can do is just net deck the good decks because it's the fastest way to learn what the good decks are. Because so many people spend so much time playing their brews that are suboptimal competitively, nothing wrong with that. And then you don't learn the lines, and then you don't see like what is like you don't see the ceiling. So you think like, oh, I played my thing really good. I hate to say I have a resume. All right, I don't know if we have to check these. I think we should just set up. I'm not checking server 8. Tremolo again is way too expensive. We do have a fermenter though. My virus is in the format. Can I get an Amakua? Man, we need, I'm playing this. Seekers will watch a year's worth of quality content from this channel. I don't know. You want to play Shaper? Just join the Patreon and get the coaching. Hey, yeah, that's true. There's coaching. It helps. I hope. I have no testimonials. All right, now they're over the hump. Now their economy, we're just going to let it go because we cannot contest it because we've been spending so much time checking singles instead of like setting up our economy. So like probably a huge mistake. Server 5 turns out was a spin doctor. Okay. They didn't res their server 7, which I think is what's it called? A daily business show, but I reckon it's because they wanted to play the hedge fund. So now we need to run HQ. 2 rules for getting good. Don't make mistakes. Stay hydrated. Confidence is also like rule 3, but that kind of comes with hydration. 3rd nuke would maybe be a good idea. I feel like that's probably, I don't know. I feel like Earthrise is probably just good enough. Like we want click compression. I don't know. Basically play the best decks, find a few people to jam against, and now watch some replays, be intentional about how you play. Yeah, there's a whole idea about like how practice matters, like good practice. Like practice is only relevant if it's good practice. I know I got a huge edge because I spent so much time editing my own VODs. So I saw like when I played poorly by like reviewing it and then also seeing in hindsight, like, oh, at the end of the game, looking backwards, how you did what. And that's really, really important. So if you can review replays critically, that helps. Or even with somebody else, like sit down with somebody else, even if you don't think they're an esteemed Netrunner player, just having other eyes on it where you can explain. Also talking aloud is the biggest thing. As someone who is making Netrunner content, spending time narrating every turn and explaining I'm doing this for this reason stops you for just doing things because they're comfortable, which is where a lot of players plateau. They just like, oh, I know how to play Netrunner, they plateau. And I'm guilty to that to some extent. I think everyone is. But don't do things because that's how you do them. Okay, speaking of that, card in server 9, probably an agenda. We don't have inside jobs 2 and 37. Our mark is archives, which is worthless unless we draw into something to make it worth full. 7 and 8, we don't know. Spin Doctor, not worth it. Like, this is just such a salad. We can always run archives to get down our break and run HQ, and I think that is some relevance, but it's very expensive. Well, that helps. I just don't know if we have time for it. So running archives here like actually does end up saving a click with mutual favor. You don't always have to run. Like if you're just running archives to mutual favor, you can just play the mutual favor. But this is a clickless run, so why not? Let's just get some accesses in while we can. So this will cost 3 credits. This will cost 1 credit. We're just gonna tilt. We're just tilting centrals. Be honest when you're tilting. That's good, valuable feedback. This is an agenda. It's a toll booth. That's a problem. Also, if you have any replays, I try and always give some feedback, even if I don't make a full video. Just a Nico? Where are the agendas? Double DBS? Okay, we're cursed. This game is going to go on forever. If we don't deal with this game is going to go on infinite. Now, luckily, if the daily business shows here only stop it for being a problem for the next couple turns until we trash them. Again, we have 12 credits here. But once we trash them and the spin doctor, they will shuffle. So it undoes the damage. Being critical of your own play rather than blaming the bad draw to the matchups, whatever, is a really important step. Yeah, sometimes it is a play for sure, but like, yeah, as much as possible, try and figure out what you could do better. Oh man, this came up last week, and I think I was a bit grumpy about it, but like also understand sometimes this is an important issue separately, but like sometimes the right play loses you the game, and that doesn't make it not the right play, right? Like if you do the numbers and this is the right play and it loses you the game, that's fine. Sometimes you just get unlucky. That's a life lesson, right? Like sometimes the right play loses. Still take it. I have to find myself getting to cruise control, and that's a good way to get owned. You often think you know what you should do, but actually playing your line will find a better one. Also recognize that you're playing a risk mitigation game, not a perfect information game. Yeah, face check, guys. On that note, holy moly, this is miserable. Penny Shaver, when? 2 cards in archive, spin doctor, pressure. This will force a shuffle, hopefully. Well, we have to do something to be able to contest this. We have Penny Shaver credits. This could be the toll booth, but the short of it. What else are we worried about? Like, we have seen fun houses, which are a nightmare. That's probably like, that's the problem is like every NBN deck is going to be the same ice. I'm actually relatively afraid of Unsmiling Serevna, which I think should be played, and it's not. Wrong plays win? Yeah, wrong plays win. Doesn't make it the right play equally. Caveat. I guess we got to draw. Okay, well, we found it. We got it. We figured it out. I don't know if we need a fermenter here. I feel like I'm going to go as long as I can without fermenting. Let's just check server 10. This is not a good play. Checking this doesn't matter. We can't trash it. What are we doing? It's a Maryland. Yeah, like, of course it is. How's that going to progress our win condition? What's the threat here? I don't know. With this, not. Without this, we could die at any point to Drago into end of line. So, like, that run was bad, but Hey, we're talking out loud. Look at all those triggers. Look at wrong players are called bluffs when they work. It's true. That's probably the toll booth. I think we consider inside jobbing that if we had one. Server 12 is something else. Eventually they get all their cards on the table. Now HQ definitely has agendas in it. With the double daily business show, probably not. Clicking for 14 feels good. Isn't necessary. We have to deal with this ice. And again, we need as a neat. We just need so much card draw. Tremolo. Carmen. Okay, they can score our one agenda. That's on us. I think we'll take the money here. Oh, we did that last click? No, that was wrong. We should have just taken 4 off liberated. I thought we had a click left. This is sloppy. Oh, it's a Reaper. Is that a problem? If we lose our breakers, it is. What's happening here? Like, it's turn 8. This is again what happens. Like, play a scrubber. Every turn you trash something with scrubber. And instead we're letting it all go through. We lost no breakers that mattered. That's actually really good. And Gaslight for public trail end of the line. We have a no free lunch. I don't think that's actually going to work. You dead? No, not with a no free lunch. But I see what the combo they were setting up. That's the threat. But that's why you like I think like every deck in startup and standard should be running some amount of these. In standard, you see Anarch decks running like other stuff like Pinel and kind of using that same way. But like, I don't know. No free lunch just kind of stops win condition. Don't play Scrubber. Not sure why you would. Well, I don't know. I feel like some sort of economy to deal with the table. Like either Prisha sees play, I reckon, in startup. I would consider playing Scrubber here, but the problem is like we're struggling to make value off of this. That's definitely a toll booth. What does it cost to hyperbaric through a toll booth? Cost 3. Costs a lot. Prisha is fine because World Tree exists. Yeah, but even a non-World Tree shaper, maybe. Okay, so we install this. It's basically here. It's they can score out a crypto crash. They could be on orbital maybe. Can we face check? What are we worried about? This is one of these is probably a fun house. Maybe there's pop-ups. I don't know. I don't like being this zoomed out, but that has to be an agenda, right? I don't know if they're on reversed accounts. We know in hand 2 of the cards that they have are kill combo. Maybe that's the Drago they're working on because they could do seamless and then kill. That's actually a problem. Yeah, Penny Chip is the best thing, right? This deck can't win run centrals, but we like literally cannot break ice. And we will lose. If that's a Drago, we lose. I guess we're just running. I don't know. Suryabna hits our breakers. That's bad. Marks on HQ? Okay. I don't know. With double daily business show, I don't think running centrals does it. Yeah, that's fine though. That's fine. Eventually we break that for 1 at some point. So we're running R&D here, so even if the end of run hits, we can boost into this. We probably should have done that before, so now we can at least do this. It gives us some value. End the run. Now that means they can't res a toll booth here. Now if we run a ping last click, we have to no free lunch it, thinking. If we hit a ping here, we have to no free lunch. That means if they public trail us, I think we're okay. I think we do run this, right? Like it has to be a ping or like it can't be a toll booth anymore. And we're assuming it's a toll booth. So I'm going to run it and then we have to use our no free lunch. So maybe we die to something else, but I'm pretty sure they might have overextended here. I feel like they overextended here. Pop-up window basically rotated from start with the Ashes ID. No, pop-up is still good enough. I think pop-up is totally fair. It's okay. It's not good against Chesva, but I don't think it's the worst card. Yeah, that's definitely a toll booth. They overextended. I don't think they had to res this. HQ maybe, but I don't know. A double daily business show, I'd be really surprised. Admittedly, as much as we think double daily business show is going to keep the agendas out of HQ, they are drawing once a turn unfiltered. So it's a bit of a, 1 and a bit of 2. Is public trail a double? No, it's a single. It's 4 credits, and we either pay 8 or take a tag, but you only play it if we've run. Okay, they're on 9, so that's a toll booth. Do we want to make them res toll booth so we can lose 3 credits? I think that's actually like a really fair trade. Running archives is also kind of cute because we can boost our hyperbaric. Eventually, let's start with that. Again, we just don't have card draw. I wish we had Zenith. Like we're missing so much click compression. There's so much we want to do. Oh, that's annoying. It has to be a card you can advance. So that actually gives us some information. We're just gonna make sure that we pump our hyperbaric. Okay, this uses Spin Doctor. That's good. It shuffles up the Daily Business Show. We see double Gaslight. They trashed those. I don't think we see that much. We have to also watch out we don't die to like multiple Reapers. Server 11 could be an agenda. Draw. Carpe Diem R&D. We're getting closer to that making sense. We'll draw. We'll just remove the tag. I'm going to keep this so that we can deal with Dragon. We know they're on public trail, right? Okay, they could potentially score out here. Maryland's shuffling, so we won't see, but like the hyperbaric's getting bigger and bigger. Eventually, we break the toll booth for 4 credits, so their remote server doesn't make sense anymore. Can't believe they haven't scored out. Like, there's 19 cards left in R&D. We've only seen 3 agendas, and double daily business show does that. So now we want to keep track, right? Like every turn they're drawing 3, putting 2 on the bottom, which means every 5 turns they'll cycle through. Just about 5 turns, which means in 5 turns there's probably an agenda on top of R&D, give or take shuffling and all that other stuff. Oh, this just post-truth. That's good. Draw is good. We're at the point where we want to consider running HQ. It's going to take them a while to score out from this, and we didn't see a Vera, which is nice. HQ is the mark. Okay. So we get through this for 1 real credit. We get through this for 3 credits, unfortunately. We have nothing giving us value from running besides Carpe Diem and Penny Shaver. The access here, I think, is actually pretty reasonable. I think we're going to see some combo pieces in hand, and we have to clear the tag. So I think we can start with Sure Gamble to Carpe Diem. No, we get the money up front from this. That's fine. Why Sure Gamble? Yeah. Yeah. Let's go. We'll take the tag. I'm doing this the most difficult way. So now we break this for 1. That's nice. Unfortunately, we break this for 3. Less nice. Bit of an expensive axis, but hey, no Cybernex. It's because we just haven't been drawing. Yeah, okay, we knew that. Okay, so don't keep a tag. Good. We don't know 11 or 13. Oh man, order's so lull. Why did we not draw first? Like there were so many cybernetics that make it so much cheaper. That's okay. We're going to clear the tag for sure because we're going to keep this because they're definitely trying to combo us out and they're far away from winning off points, so we can go a bit slower. But next turn we'll Zenith into this. The Carmen breaks this for 1 credit. It's actually worth installing, but probably after an HQ run. We can also try and hitting R&D, which is only now a tag and a credit as opposed to tag and 4 credits. Immediately 2 with Chesva. An info bounty again. I don't know how many we're meant to play. We think that's a toll booth, right? We think that's a toll booth. We can deal with that. What are they advancing behind a single ice that we can't deal with? Do we have to respect a sentry? Do we have to respect a sentry? So installing this loses us 2 credits. I feel like we're just gonna install it. And I'm worried what server 14 is. I don't know. Never respect. It's just a ping. I'm surprised. I don't know what that is. Now, Tremolo is expensive. We haven't got our Zenith down. Could be reversed. It's a checkist. That makes a lot of sense. God, we blundered into that. 1 tag plus 1 tag for each advancement. No action. We have 3 tags. Well, we lost. That's it. Man, we just lose to checkist. That feels weird. DR for the rescue? What's DR? We could run archives, hit an agenda, and then we have to run R&D. We see at most 1 card. Yeah. Oh man, I didn't respect that at all. That's the first time I've actually hit a checklist, I think. That was so suspicious, right? So 11's the toll booth. I think we messed up which server we thought the toll booth server was. I think that was super sus. That we should have probably felt it, thinking. So we have no multi-axis on table, so we can clear 1 tag. Then we can clear a 2nd tag, but we know we're just short cards. Yeah. So we need to have more than 4 cards and 1 tag. So we're just like barely short. Is there any way we can clicklessly draw? No. Credits doesn't solve it. So at this point, we can just get an access. We can't trash the thing. Yeah, man, that's so wild that we play a game that goes this long and then it's just install advanced checklist and then you lose. That's so wild. I did not expect to feel like that. Like such a, and I don't know, turn 11, that's not that long, but like they could have done that on turn 1 and it would have won. Is that a good play? Let's just go R&D. If our mark was R&D, we have a chance here. If this is an agenda. No, we didn't. Okay, that's it. All right, I guess that's a way to end the stream. Oh man, it feels weird. Install Carmen is probably unnecessary. I think Install Carmen was like incredibly unnecessary. For what it's worth, I did not expect any sort of trap. Hey, good game. Thanks for the game. I was more expecting that this would be, and I've seen a fair bit like Stavka. And if Stavka hits our breaker suite, like we lose the game. So like I have seen people play like, maybe it was other NBNs, but I have seen Stavka like somewhat consistently in NEH decks, just because like nobody respects sentries anymore. So people do play some sort of program destruction. Even if that was a Stavka and it was 7 strength, right? Like, can we win? Eventually we lose to mutually assured destruction, I think, regardless, because we didn't keep the board down. So it's just a matter of time because we couldn't build up any sort of multi-axis. But I didn't think it would feel like that. That felt really weird. If we didn't install the Carmen, we would have 100% been safe. So I don't know. That's the risk. It's the risk between the Stavka and like we saw oh no, we actually saw a fair bit of influence for. Yeah, it's a bummer. Yeah, I think Stavka actually makes sense in NBN decks because like no one's respecting the sentry slot. As much as like program destruction isn't that relevant, without Simulchip, it's actually like kind of a lot better. Yeah, Drafter rotated because Drafter was in Ashes, right? So like the sentry slot is like kind of a Silissa. I don't actually know if there's that many other sentries in startup NBN that you have access to. Like it's Unsmiling Serebna, right? Oh man, but this feels so bad. Like 27 cards left in our stack. Like in melee, we could have got down the, I think the Zenith a turn or so sooner, but like we just need more click compression. Like I'd play an Earthrise Hotel because it gives us the card draw we need. So this is definitely a bit flawed, but we can fix it. Things that are good, like the Fermenters feel pretty good. Inside jobs we need more of. I feel like, I don't know, I feel wild playing 3 Zenith chips or 3 info bounties, but info bounty maybe. And I think the Zenith chip will feel better if we play just more Earthrises. Wow. All right, I'll start it. That's cool that Corps actually have win cons though. That actually feels interesting. As much as like install advance, how many tags did it give us? 3, I guess because of the ping too, right? That's wild. 3x Penny Shaver. I don't know if it's the Penny Shaver. I think the info bounty is better than the Penny Shaver. I'll be honest. It's cheaper. It's credit neutral. The turn you put it down, it's clickless. And really, it's a bit more like, you know, you have to run your mark and sometimes it doesn't work out, but I don't think I'd play 3 Penny Shaver. I feel like there's other stuff I'd like to play first. Cool. That's it. We'll be back in a week. I don't know if I'm gonna have some videos up. Again, I recorded some videos, but they were like this really bad deck, and now I have to like go back to the drawing board. Maybe I'll just play some standard startup, like just play some startup and get some videos together, because it's been a minute before we put a video up on this channel. Maybe something like this. We only won 1 game out of 4. Oh, we played once in standard though. I gotta figure out what startup is. Thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully you're having a good week. Good games to everyone we played games against, and hopefully we'll see you in a week. Thanks for the stream. Hey, thanks for hanging out. Hopefully you're enjoying the VODs if you're watching this not live. Again, see you maybe in Barcelona in a couple months. Good night, everyone. Thanks for streaming. Of course, hey, thanks for dropping by. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your week. We'll be back next Thursday. Hopefully we got some content coming up before that. Good night, y'all. Hey, Clayton. Good night.